WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return.
Jackson, it's a little early, a little too soon maybe,
Tim,
for a quick question.
Yeah.
Why is this the opening song? It's just always, is it? I mean, I love you guys. I've listened since day one, since I was in middle school. But why is this song the opening song?
You don't have to take your clothes off?
Yeah.
It's just.
Has it always been?
I mean, obviously not, considering you were on the program originally. And
Well, okay, but since the show got good with Doug, Doug, was this always the opening song?
I think as long as I've been here, it has been.
I think there was a moment where Bismarck Key was maybe the open for a little bit. Tim would definitely know it.
Well, I didn't know if you knew. Well, you're sort of a historian of the show.
Ever since I've been listening to the program.
And your dad forced you to listen when you were a young tyke.
No. I found eventually I wanted to talk about with my brother and my dad about the program. And so I had to start listening.
Look at you now.
And I felt that's the day I fell in love with Doug.
I beg your pardon, sir?
With your talent.
Your talent, clearly.
Okay.
It is the Morning After, presented by Brown and Crouppen, Friday edition. Doug, we're going to have some fun today. Okay. Kurt, Doug, Martin, Papers with you. Tim is out. Get that out of the way. Text in.
Where's he?
Fine. Now, where's Tim? He is fine. He's not under the weather.
No.
Don't need to drop off food at his house or say any prayers.
Mm-mm.
He's fine.
Well, you can kind of take the show and run with it because I'm not going to be much good to you today.
You're not?
After another Blues loss, no.
Well, they're getting good at that.
I don't know how much longer I can maintain this brave facade, pretend that it's going to happen again like it did 6 years ago. I don't know. I'm just thinking if they can just stay cold, they can get a good draft pick now.
That's the new slogan. Mm-hmm. If they could just stay cold, they could get a good draft pick. Mm-hmm. I think you might be right about that. Boy, they do seem to have this down. Take a 2-goal lead, Doug, and then stop scoring. Well, and then you go to overtime, which is wide open, and anybody can win, and then you still lose.
It looks to me like they get these leads, and then they sit back and are content to play defense for much of the third period. They did that for large stretches last night, too. They just, when they get the puck, they dump it in, and they change lines, and then they come back and set up defensively and just let the other team keep whacking at it, and sooner or later, one of those bounces in on them.
And the later the game gets, you almost feel the ice tilt, don't you, where you just go, oh, God, they're going to lose. Oh, man, here it comes. Here, you can feel it. And when they get to overtime now, you do know they're going to lose. They're 0-6 in games that go to either overtime or a shootout. The odds would be you'd win one of those here or there, get a lucky bounce. The shame of it is Hofer played very well and at times was brilliant. And the goaltending has been better. The team has been better, but you're still not winning. And I know they get a point, and they seem somewhat okay with it. I only heard Falk. It was Falk, Hofer, and Montgomery that talked in the postgame. And I think they do feel like they're trending up. But I think Hofer's the only one I heard was that it just sucks to keep losing. And the bottom line, it's a weird deal in hockey. You get a point. If you had a friend that didn't follow hockey, Doug, and you explained to them, boy, we lost. No, got a point. Do you think they could wrap their head around that?
Probably not.
Because they do rationalize it at times. They got a point.
They're tied for the league lead in overtime losses.
Okay.
And I don't know what you could make from that unless it's the fact that when it's 3-on-3, the more highly talented players, highly skilled offensive players have a better chance to score, and the Blues don't have a lot of those right now.
There was a great opportunity. Robert Thomas, somewhat friend of the show, with a great feed to Kyrou. He just didn't put it in the back of the net. They had some chances for sure. In the end, they lose 3-2, so they're now 0-2 on the road trip.
Yeah. Four straight losses.
But again, in their last 16 games, Doug, just top of your head, the last 16 games, how many have they won?
Oh, they probably won 3.
3 is the answer,
that right?
yes.
Okay.
They've won 3 times.
They've only won 3 out of 12 at home all year.
Yes. So it is at a point where you wonder maybe it's not going to turn around. Again, playing better in Toronto, in Philly, those games were close. In fact, he could have won either game, but they're not winning, and that's again the bottom line. They go up 2-0, and I know we've joked about it with you, Doug, but I watch games now, and when they're up by 2, I get nervous.
Yeah, worst lead in hockey.
And that late goal, second period, gets it to 2-1. You could just kind of feel, and Jamie Rivers and I do enjoy that. Strick and Rivers on site in between the period, kind of breaking it down. So when they're breaking it down, they were there. They're in the building. And Rivers kind of said, boy, you just wanted to get that third goal. Just get that 3. He didn't reference you, which would have been nice.
It would have.
But it seemed like he was thinking the same thing.
It just seems to me like they take the foot off the gas pedal. It's like, there's our 2 goals. Now we're going to play defense the rest of the night. I know they don't knowingly go in there with that kind of mindset, but that's what it looks like when you watch.
Yeah. And maybe it's a collective psyche. Like, oh, boy, are we going to lose? What's going to happen? Oh, boy. We'll talk to Joey Vitale. He's on the road. I like logistics, Doug. I'm not positive. I think they might have stayed in Philly another night. They're playing the Islanders tomorrow in Nassau County. Papers family will probably be there, correct? That's on the island.
Oh,
the road trip. Third stop. So Joey Vitale, 8:15. Gabe DeArmond at 9 o'clock. And, Doug, there's a development there. There's a report. Pete Thamel, who has the inside word from all the coaches in college football, says that Beau Pribula is being upgraded, and it'll be a game-time decision. So there's a chance. I would have. They nearly took him out of Vanderbilt on a stretcher, and now here we are. A month-ish later. And they said game-time decision. I just feel like the way it's been reported, that these things kind of get leaked out to the people they want to know about it. I think there's a pretty good chance he's going to play.
I would think if he's close, what are you saving him for? I mean, the season's almost over. This is the biggest game you've got left. Why not? If he can play, why not?
And come on the Wildcat?
I would not do that. No.
It will be interesting because it was an ankle injury, was it not? An ankle injury. And
dislocated.
And he's a running quarterback. So you wonder what that does to his game, because even in the first 5-6 games, we said, wow, he's pretty good, but he's better at running maybe even than at throwing.
Here's the Pete Thamel tweet.
Okay, here we go. Jackson Burkett, everybody.
Missouri QB Beau Pribula is expected to be upgraded to questionable on the SEC availability report. He's medically cleared to play on Saturday, and it'll come down to a coach's decision with player input on how he looks/feels in order for him to play in Oklahoma. So the doctors say he's good to play.
Predictionary. Is he playing?
Ooh, let's open up predictionary.
Is he? Are you feeling better? You still sound a little under the weather.
No, I don't feel better, but that Dayquil, man, that Dayquil, it can do wonders. So.
Do you do the NyQuil at night?
Yeah. Oh, I did it last night.
It's a little dangerous, though, if you're an early riser.
I know. I went to bed last night earlier than I've ever gone to bed.
8 o'clock.
Probably since I started this program, like 9. Okay. I never go to bed earlier than like 9:30, so...
Once Mark Mitchell jammed it, they led by 24. You sound good.
Yeah, I felt that they were good. All right, will Beau Pribula?
You say Bula. I say Bew.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm wrong. Beau Pribula.
But for Halloween,
it's
it'd be
a tough
cute
last name to say.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Pribula, yeah. It's tough for me.
Start against Oklahoma.
Beau Pribula. All right. I'm going to say yes. I feel like the way this is being reported.
I think he'll play, too. I saw him warming up before the Mississippi State game out there, and he looked so good, I thought, my gosh, he might play tonight.
Doug, yes. Chairman.
He says yes. Thumbs up.
Chairman says yes.
Okay, so we're 3 on the ghost of Tim.
I'll say yes as well.
Really?
Yeah.
All 4, okay.
If he's borderline, you sure might as well get him in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, again, what are you saving him for at this point?
I think Matt.
I don't want the guy get hurt seriously, of course, but if he's been cleared to play, he must be telling them that he feels okay. So I would think that he'd play.
It is pretty miraculous. I guess we don't really know. Did they say dislocated, or they Drinkwitz immediately said in Nashville he'll be out a while, and I don't know what the team. We'll ask Gabe this. Gabe DeArmond, Power Mizzou, at 9 o'clock. I think Matt Zollers is the greatest example of the backup quarterback syndrome. He came in for a little bit. There was this kid is the answer. Forget this Pribula. Now here we are. Okay, that's fine. Get the freshman out.
We were a little overly optimistic there to think that a freshman in his first start could come in and be better than someone who'd played quite a bit. And I think you got to give the coaches some credit. If they thought Zollers was better than Pribula, he'd have been playing earlier, because for half the season they thought they had a real chance to get in the playoffs. You wouldn't sit a better quarterback. If you had somebody on the bench better than Pribula, they'd have played him.
But it's the allure of the backup quarterback. Boy, if we could. Boy, did you see that he came in at the end and threw 3 passes, Doug? Let's get him out there.
Yeah, we're better now.
And now everyone's saying, well, if we want to win this game, we got to get back to Beau Pribula. So Mizzou, 11 a.m. start in Oklahoma. Does that help the Tigers? The theory is the road team coming in early, that the home team's a little sleepy too, that gives you a little bit of an advantage. Is that our theory around here? That the road team has an advantage with the early start? Unless it's USC playing in the East Coast time zone.
It's better, but having said that, Oklahoma is playing for their lives. Every game, their last 2 games are for everything. You know, they got to win out. So if they're not prepared because it's the 11 a.m. game, then they had no business being in the playoff anyway. So I think if this was an earlier game, like Alabama game, where it was like the 5th or 6th game of the year.
Earlier in the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw it out now.
Different.
This is when the men line up to play.
Yeah.
I think we may be overanalyzing if we think the game time is going to determine who the better team is.
That's what we do.
Maybe it helps you at night, get the crowd a little bit more revved up. I could see a little bit more energy in a crowd in a night game, but I don't think a lesser team is going to have a much better chance to win based on the starting time of the game.
Lay it on me, Gabe.
Lay it on me, Gabe. It'll be the first time we talked to Gabe since the Tuesday press conference where he was going into it and said to us and others, all right, guys, it's time to talk about it. We're bringing up the coaching carousel. Before he could, Eli Drinkwitz addressed it somewhat and then said, lay it on me, Gabe. We'll lay it on Gabe coming up at 9 o'clock. You can be part of the show always on the text line. Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. 399-9646. Collier Thompson phone lines, 314-974-0101. 974-0101 if you want to be part of the conversation on this Friday. Also, the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Hop in there. I'm going to turn to my right. I bet John scores. I'm looking for Mac Daddy will make you jump. Who else is in there? Tony Marino. Are these real names?
Jeremy Hodge.
Jeremy Hodge. Morning, everyone. Spicy Sow, my favorite lineup. Not sure. Hold on. What did they change? Anyway, they're talking in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, Doug. Sometimes it's about this show, and sometimes it has absolutely nothing
to
do with this show. And I'm scanning the dossier, and this is intriguing to me. Papers at 8:02. It's Terry Bradshaw. He was the featured speaker last night at the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer dinner. And we've covered this over the years. I emceed it. I think one year, Guy Phillips always hosts that.
He's hysterical, isn't he?
He has done that. He's been really good in that role for a long time
really
as an
good.
MC. And he did in the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer started, they said, in a bar in the late 60s saying, hey, how can we raise money for cancer charities, guys sitting around a bar said, let's throw an event. And it's grown over the years. And, you know, Bobby Valentine one year was the featured speaker, Kelly Chase the year that I emceed. And a lot of times folks have their own story, cancer survival. So we've covered it a lot over the years, and I saw an email the other day that, hey, they have this event, Terry Bradshaw will be there. I'm like, oh, he's great. Mm-hmm. He's always fun. He's great. So I reached out, and then the PR folks, running things said, oh, he's not going to be available for any media. I said, that's Terry Bradshaw. I mean, he's talking to the Uber driver. He's talking to the Taco Bell driver. That's just all he does is talk. Mm-hmm. And then I got another note that said, yeah, we double-checked, and they said he's probably not going to be available. So I said, you know what I said, Doug?
What?
Oh, forget that. We're showing up. And this one walked up there. I said, Terry, how you doing? I've met him over the years. I mean, we're not tight by any stretch. And he's doing the meet and greet where he's got to take like 1,000 photos and shake hands, take a photo, shake hands, take a photo. And I said, if you get a chance, he said, yeah, it's fine. And I guess he had been sick last week. And so his wife told everybody it'd be easier, just keep him, don't make him do any media.
Yeah.
So that was the official word, which we plowed through. And Tamar Scher was there from Channel 4. And she said, do you think he's going to talk? I said, it's Terry Bradshaw. This guy, he's paid to talk. He loves to talk. So he comes over and does a little scrum there. And I just asked him a question about St. Louis because I said, he worked with Jack Buck on CBS. Mm-hmm. And then he and Joe Buck are friends, colleagues at Fox. And part of his answer, he just brings up, he says, I know they took your team. And we all knew it, kind of like he told TMA 10 years ago. And so I'm looking at the dossier, and it says, Terry Bradshaw talks about Kroenke moving the Rams. So good on, where was it, Papers? On Twitter? Twitter tweets? Okay.
Yep.
We aired a little bit of it on Sports Final last night, of the visit with Terry. And I mistakenly said, I thought this was his last year. I thought I had read that. And we even asked Chris Long if he was going to be remember asking Chris Long if he wanted that gig? And he's like, no, I'm good. I thought that, anyway, he has another year after this.
Oh, good.
And
I don't want him to retire.
He goes, I really need to do it because I got a home in Hawaii I never get to.
Oh, yeah.
I've got grandkids I don't see. I've got horses I don't see.
Yeah.
He's got a house here and a house there.
Well, it is only half the year when he's working, though, right?
And it's just weekends, but then he does a lot of appearances, too. And I was thinking, well, there's an answer to this. You don't have to do any of this. But he's going to do one more year on Fox. But here's Terry just sort of offering up. I didn't ask him for a take on the Rams exit.
Hit the lever, please, Pale.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
All right, now would be the time.
Here was the quarterback.
I love St. Louis. Listen, St. Louis, I'm sorry you don't have an NFL team. I mean, when Kroenke moved out of here, which we all knew he was going to do, I was like, wow, St. Louis is such a great sports town. It's a baseball town. No, it's a sports town. This is such a great city. I come to here 4 or 5 times a year. I perform over at Branson, and Joe Buck lives here. Joe, if you're watching tonight, I love you, buddy. Monday night, he and Troy are amazing. His dad I started with at CBS. His father was so kind and gracious to me. Nothing but good memories here at St. Louis.
What's he doing in Branson's? He's singing?
He sings.
Country singer?
We could probably find some audio. He's a performer. Yeah, he does his own singing. He really does a little bit of everything. And then I said to him when we did an interview a while back, it was with him and Howie Long together on the set. And I said, Howie said something about how you're laughing all the way to the bank, that you played this kind of country bumpkin forever and you're just cashing checks. And he said, well, I know you think I'm a country bumpkin. I said, no, I didn't call you. He goes, no. And then he started talking like a country bumpkin. Highly entertaining. So great event there, raising money. But you bring that clip onto the dossier, and it freaks me out because I had a Kroenke dream last night. And then I woke up and thought, why am I having a... It's because Bradshaw talked about him.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about him otherwise, but in this dream, I'm interviewing Stan Kroenke, Doug. We've got kind of like a Mike Wallace, like hard-hitting, real journalism that I'm sure doesn't really exist anymore. And we're talking about all these terrible things he did and why didn't you do it this way and that way. And his son Josh walks in with all these quotes of me, all the terrible things I've said about him. And a handler jumps in and says, that's it, interview's over.
Oh, gosh.
And that's how the dream ends. That we get the Kroenke interview.
It was more like a documentary than a dream, really.
Yeah.
It was based on true events.
True events. And then I woke up, I thought, why am I having that dream? But because Terry Bradshaw brought it up.
Yeah.
So maybe
that is something we encounter every now and then, especially in radio, where you sometimes criticize people who are the newsmakers, and then you see them in person some time later, and it's a little bit awkward. But it's what you have to do if you're in sports radio.
Well, and Stan is welcome to call in. And if Josh wants to call in and read any of the terrible things we said, kind of like Dr. Phil when he went on Letterman. And Letterman's like, welcome to great day. He goes, hold on. And he pulled out the sheet. Did you ever see this clip?
No.
And Dr. Phil pulls out a sheet and goes, dumbass, bonehead, doofus. And he goes, these are all things you called me. It was actually really funny.
There's a borderline Imus there.
Dr. Phil sounds like Imus.
Well, when you call him, you just use the childish, doofus and stuff.
The insults.
Yeah.
I'm sure the clip exists. So there it is, Doug. The dream, it all comes full circle when I check out Papers Dossier. What are you excited about today, Jackson? Because we've got Mizzou banter. We'll talk to Joey Vitale. We'll get logistics with him.
Talk a little Blue Note. Yeah.
Talk a little hoop rock at some point.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So I was just looking at Terry Bradshaw's resume, getting back to him. Much better quarterback than what a lot of people remember him for being. He was an all-decade team in the 70s, 4-time Super Bowl champion, at a time when oftentimes the quarterbacks were calling the plays. Wasn't coming in on a headset or anything. First team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. Led the league in touchdown passes twice. We think of him just as a guy who was surrounded by other great players, and for sure he was. But he was one of those great players as well. He was a big reason why the Steelers were the dominant team of the 70s.
But I think a lot of people dismissed it, right? That, well, you got all those great players.
Right. It couldn't be him.
And as you see now, it didn't matter how great the quarterback. I mean, it's tough to win. 4, my God. They won 4. It was in a window of, about 6 years?
He does have a bad statistic. Touchdown passes career 212, interceptions 210. That's not a great ratio.
From Dino Bravo. Yeah. We all knew they were leaving. What's the status of that dumb Chiefs stadium? Do we have a Chiefs stadium update, Doug? Is that in the dossier? They're moving to Kansas. They're not moving to Kansas. They're getting a dome. They're getting a roof. The Chiefs or the Royals are moving downtown. They're not moving downtown. They're moving to Kansas. There's probably a little stadium
Don't
fatigue.
want them to move to Kansas. Want that tax revenue to stay in Missouri.
Oh, you know.
I don't know why the Chiefs would even move. That stadium seems great for them. It's become an iconic stadium because of all the success that they've had. We've seen so many big games played there now over the last few years. It's great for tailgating. People seem to love it. I don't know why they would move out of there.
I think the perfect scenario is the Royals move. And I love the renderings, the downtown one, and there's probably a million reasons why it doesn't make sense for Kansas City, but the visual of it, downtown, right by that power and light, and then you let the Chiefs just kind of take over that whole area.
Yeah.
And you can build probably a Chiefs Kingdom, whatever the hell, Ballpark Village type thing, or something that's more of a year-round attraction. I could see that happening.
Yeah. I don't know why they feel like the Royals has to be downtown. I mean, the Cardinals are downtown, and while it saved downtown for about 40 or 50 years, now they probably wish they hadn't built it downtown based on what the rest of downtown is going through now.
But I think, and we could call our friends in Kansas City, Vahe Gregorian, Joel Goldberg, our Kansas City correspondents, but I think Kansas City's downtown is currently fairly popular.
Yeah, I think it is. It's thriving. Mm-hmm. And our downtown was nothing until they built Busch Stadium 2 there. You old enough to remember that, what downtown looked like in the mid-'60s?
No, I was not old enough
it was
for that.
rough. It was rough.
I've seen pictures, though, and there's not... how about the early pictures of the arch? There's just not much there.
No, just a bunch of warehouses.
So were we always a bunch of county folk back then, even, too? There was nobody that wanted to be down by the arch, by the river?
Well, it was industrial. There's a lot of manufacturing things going on down there. But once they built that Busch Stadium 2, they put up hotels and restaurants and bars and office buildings. It really made what you see of downtown St. Louis, if you like any of it, almost none of it was there before the Cardinals built that stadium, except for the old courthouse, maybe.
Guys, I pictured Doug's body with Michael Landon's hair. What a smoke show. There you go. I don't know what
Doug's
that...
body with Michael Landon's
For whatever
hair.
reason, I frequent New York Post for my links that I send, and there's been a lot of stories about Michael Landon recently.
Lately?
I guess someone just released a memoir or something, or a biography. There's a bunch of stuff about Little House on the Prairie, how he might not have been the most fun person to work with. Very odd.
Well, if you're going to write a story about it now, this many years later, you have to spice it up with something to get people to want to
100%.
read it, even if you have to make up stuff about someone being unpleasant.
Right, either way, it's like ripped from
Why
today's
now?
headlines.
Yeah.
Little
Why
House on
now?
the Prairie.
Percentage of people 30 and under that have heard the name Michael Landon, close to zero.
Yeah, I mean, when did he
And you're
die? In the early 90s?
And your social media looking for clicks, and that's where you're going to go with it?
Yeah, he died in 91, so... yeah, I would be surprised.
Doug, Yugoslavia is not happy because Tim's not on the radio. That's from the Yugoslavian Bruiser.
Do we have a large audience from Yugoslavia? Yugoslavia doesn't even exist anymore.
No, it does not.
Let's see. Bosnia has become Croatia. Serbia.
It formed the following countries,
Macedonia.
Martin. The individual nations of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia.
That's a lot of countries chopped up.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of possible NBA MVPs in that.
They grow them
that
tall
list.
there. They grow them really
Certainly
tall.
in Serbia and Slovenia.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Fellas
texters are
can play some
happy.
ball.
Some texters are not happy. Some are happy. The shows have never been better the last 2 days. That's from the 314. That's a shot at Tim. And then the next texter is mad. Talk about the GD F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. Guys, there's a race in Las Vegas. It's called the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
When
We talked about it.
When Chairman and I were out in Vegas about 2 years ago, is that right, Chairman? They were setting up that whole thing in Las Vegas, shutting down like half of Las Vegas Boulevard. It took me and Kurt, I don't know, about 45 minutes to get 3 blocks. Meanwhile, our Uber driver was playing aggressive house music the whole time. It was not super fun.
Did he have the one earpiece in, dangling with a wire attached to it?
Oh,
I always feel like it's a movie scene. They have one earpiece, and it's usually connected to a cable.
It was,
and they're speaking another language, and you just assume they're talking about you.
It was a scene, man. No, this guy was. He seemed homegrown. Maybe on something that was homegrown.
Homegrown.
Yeah, it was a whole scene.
Well, I didn't do any show prep at all in the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
All right, well,
we talked
So
about
you
it.
guys are going to have to take
in
this
the
one.
break, you're going to have to bone up.
Okay.
All
Just
they
some serious
said-
boning.
All they said was to talk about it. It's been talked about.
Yeah.
It seems like people who are into that are either all into it, it's the most important sport in the world, or they have zero interest at all.
I like that
There doesn't seem
take.
to be a lot of middle ground
If
there.
I was Tony Reale, I'd give you a couple points for that take
Would
because
you?
I agree. Because it's like, it seems like there's not a ton of casual F1 fans.
No.
Like there's casual baseball fans or casual football fans.
I say Pribula will play. Write it down, Jackson. Thank you. The millennial. So now the listeners would like to be in on
All right, I'm
prediction.
going to add the millennial.
Arbor Day says, how fun is it to work at a job where you get to sit in a petri dish all morning with your sick colleagues? Quite an industry. You're plowing through. Connie Lassiter and Greg Bickles says Dayquil is actually not effective. It does nothing to improve the inflammation of your sinuses. We've got doctors listening to this show.
Well, it seems to help me. If it's a placebo, it doesn't. If it
Still works.
achieves the results, then what do I care?
And what do they put in NyQuil that they don't put in Dayquil? That makes NyQuil
Probably
effective.
some
sleeping-
sleeping agent,
whatever
some,
that is.
some kind of muscle relaxant, probably.
I like the word agent. That's a good word.
That's really good. You're waxing your own card there, but I like it.
Everybody acting like Beau's a good quarterback. Still going to get waxed. That's from the Big Show.
Probably, but you know what? Why?
If he's the best quarterback they have, then he should be playing.
100%. 100%.
Guys, why does Booch, player that's been playing the worst on the team, get the most ice time? That's from Cuckleberry Finn. And we have Joey Vitale coming up. We'll ask him that. Booch played 19:04, 19 minutes, 4 seconds. He did play the most of all the forwards last night. Blues lose 3-2 to the Flyers. They're on the Isle tomorrow to take on the Islanders, part of the 5-game road trip. You'll hear all the action right here on 101 ESPN. TMA is powered by Brown & Crouppen.
Let's go Blues, go for the gold. For that cup I'd sell my soul. Nothing better than playoff time. In the NHL, you got to be primed. Come on, boys. Keep your head on a swivel. Heading for the top, not the middle. People might think I'm crazy, but if we just get hot, we can win this, baby.
Well, the song's great. Team's not.
We can win this.
What makes you say that?
Well, the standings, Doug, and I know those are different from I wouldn't mind a good Vaughn index at this point.
Let me run the numbers here real quick.
Okay.
They've lost 4 in a row. Let's see, their differentials of minus 24, 6, 9, and 6. The Vaughn index would come to 18. Would be an 18.
Well, how many points do they have?
Well, let me check the standings here. Let's see. Utah's got 23, 18. So that works.
Okay.
That figures. Yeah, it levels.
They were 3-2 on October 18th. They were 3-2, and they're now 3, 9, and 6. That 6 stands out for sure because those are points that were there for the taking. Shootout or overtime losses. They have had 6 of those. 0 for 6 when they are tied after regulation. Last night, Blues lose 3-2 to the Flyers. Adding insult to the losing is that they once again had a 2-goal lead. Justin Falk scored 2 first-period goals. You had the return of Jake Neighbors. But in the end, it's another loss. Here's the coach, Jim Montgomery, on the OT loss.
Well, I thought we kept getting quality chances, you know. It seemed like both goalies made a lot of quality saves on both ends of the ice. You know, I thought that we had opportunities to extend the lead not only by 1 more, but probably 2 more. Yeah, I mean, it's we're trying to scrape out 2 points, and we haven't been able to. I like our effort. I like the way we're playing hard for each other. We got to find ways to extend leads. We got to find ways to close out games.
Well, that's for sure. You got to find ways to close out games. That's what they have not been able to do.
Or to add on. Montgomery also talked about the tough losses because you think about in Toronto, had a chance to win that game, end up losing that. In overtime, they had the 2-goal lead last Friday, 2 different times against the same Flyers team. That Seattle game that they lost, which would have been, a couple of Saturdays ago, that was also a 2-goal lead. Montgomery on just the overall frustration.
But you know what? That's the league. The league is hard, and but we're a resilient group. I like the way we're competing. Our process has been good here. We just need to finish more goals, opportunities, and we need to close out games. You know, we got to protect the middle of the ice a little bit better than what we've been doing in really in important minutes.
They've had some awfully painful and close defeats. As you said, in the last 2 weeks, Vegas beat them 4-1, but their other losses have been 4-3 in overtime, 6-5 in a shootout, and 2 3-2 overtime losses.
Yeah, I think where they'd be if you could spin even half that.
Yeah, just one more bounce of the puck somewhere in there, and they're really on a roll.
Well, the goaltending's been better. The games have been closer. But the frustration is it doesn't matter. You get that point, and it is such a weird thing. Hey, we got a point. And almost every time when they lose in overtime, well, we got a point. But much like the Flyers game last week, you're up 3-1. You're up 5-3. How are you losing that game? Even the 2-0 last night, that was in the first period. You had all kinds of time to get another goal. Mm-hmm. And then you hang your goalie out to dry in overtime. And it happens with the 3-on-3. But Joel Hofer talked about that goal.
Yeah, I got to stop it. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. Overtimes and shootouts are tough. For us right now, but can't do anything about it now. We just gotta, keep getting better at it, and hopefully they go our way soon.
Only 6 points out of a wild card spot. How about that?
It's still November.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad when you consider they've got almost 61 games still to play, or whatever it is, 60 some odd games to play, and you're 6 points down. You gotta really fight the urge as a player for sure to not say, well, this season's over.
Well, and I think as a coach, that's always the trick. When do you say, this is ridiculous, we got to clean it up, start winning these damn games? When do you throw a trash can and you go, the guys are like, whatever, coach. Like, they tune you out. So I think they tend to, most of them, be overly positive because they feel like, the guys are disappointed enough. You don't want to beat them down. Justin talked about, he even said, I know, Doug, this is your thing. The question was about 2-goal leads. And I think the edited part out of this, Doug, is where he said, it's like Vaughn always says.
You know,
I don't know. It's tough. It's you gotta find ways to keep your foot on the gas. You can't sit back. You can't get comfortable and play safe and play defensive and just hoping to win the game. You gotta put your foot down and still be aggressive and make them come 200 feet. There's a lot of little parts of the game that get amplified when you're up 2. Everything gets a little harder. You gotta they're pushing a little bit more, so you gotta dig in and just really try and limit them. And a lot of times that happens from sustaining some pressure in the O zone and through the neutral zone.
Yeah, he did not mention me, but that's what I was saying earlier. It just seems like they get ahead and then they fall back. They said, that's all the goals we need. We'll just play defense now. And it doesn't work.
And I would love to know, and again, Joey Vitale with the team, played in the NHL, ask him from his vantage point, does he see them altering their approach? Can you see it play out when you're there in the building? Is there something strategically different? It would be ridiculous if it's 2-0 in the first period. If you're up by 2 goals and there's 5 minutes to go, for sure, right? Park the bus. But if you're up 2-0 in the first period, just keep playing the game, right? And maybe it just happens organically. Maybe guys just get a little nervous. Oh, we got a 2-goal lead. I'm not going to take a chance. A defenseman's not going to pinch. You know, it's like maybe they just kind of individually make these choices, and then collectively they are kind of getting cautious.
Yeah,
I think they probably are a team that's real fragile now with their psyche. They assume things are going to go poorly, and when teams struggle, that's probably the number one thing that creeps in the room.
Losing the confidence. Now they're just waiting for something to go wrong. As poorly as things have gone, I would not expect them to make a bunch of trades right now, just because everybody's at the low end of their value based on the way they've produced so far this year. But also, there is a long way to go, and the longer the season plays out, the more likely it is for some contender to have a player go down, some key player get hurt, and then maybe you get a little bit more for a veteran that you might want to trade. If a team is desperate for a center or a winger or a power play guy, whatever, if they think they got a real shot to go a ways in the playoffs, and the Blues might have a player that they really want, then the Blues could get, it figures that they would get more for that player than they're going to get right now.
I am still surprised. I thought it was going to be last night. I'm surprised that Buchnevich wouldn't be a healthy scratch, and not to embarrass him as much as, and then you say, I think he needs a mental break. He's got 2 goals in the first 21. He hasn't scored since late October. I think as a coach, you could do that and just say, we're going to give, and I know he's a highly talented player who's trying hard, but it's not happening. I still think on this road trip you might see that, where he just gives him a mental break.
Yeah.
I mean, in the NBA, you got load management. Superstars just don't play a game because there's going to take. And in the NHL, I think give him a mental break. He needs it.
You see the plus minus.
It's true. It's damn true.
It is. The plus minus on some of their top players. Kyrie's minus 11, Fowler minus 10, Holloway minus 11, Buchnevich minus 12, Shen minus 15. Those are supposed to be their top players.
How are the sports? Are they great?
They're not great right now. No,
and the reason we're giving this Blues team so much coverage is not because we're the rights holders, Doug.
No,
it's because Mizzou's got 3 losses, and what happens the rest of the way doesn't really matter. Although I'm excited to watch the Oklahoma game, and I hope that they win. Somebody brought up Matthew Kessel on the text line. The disparity in minutes between their top defensemen and their bottom defenseman is alarming. I know with most teams, your third pairing doesn't play nearly as much. But, for example, last night, Philip Broberg played 26 minutes. Matthew Kessel played 10.
Hell.
There is quite a drop-off there. And they're definitely thin in that category.
And you would think one guy is getting tired and the other guy just getting warmed up. Maybe doesn't feel like he's in the flow of the game.
Good evening, sports fans. Doug Vaughn here with your Sportscast.
All right,
our top story tonight, John Jay will be back tomorrow. Here's him getting a hit in 2012.
That's just good journalism is what that is.
So, for example, tonight on the 2 Fox, I'm not working. Would love to be there, Doug, for the opportunity, but I'm not.
Exposure.
You would show video of 2019. And you'd say the last time they were in Philly, and they'd say, yeah, but they lost last night.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They were
we just
in
get the
Philly.
video, whatever video we could find in a hurry. Didn't care what year it was.
On a Sunday snowstorm, Rich Gould and I were the only ones who made it in the sports department. And we're running around. It was a really big snowstorm. And somehow he and I made it. None of the producers, half the newsroom was out. And he said, where's that didn't you guys have the Blues coach the other day? And I said, oh, yeah, we did an interview with, I'm going to use that tonight. I said, which, fine, it's fine. It wasn't that big a deal. It was like 2 days old. And I'm watching this show, and I look up, and it's Davis Payne. And I said, he's not even the coach anymore.
Here's Davis Payne.
He somehow got a really old clip, and it was Mo Drummond doing the interview. And I said, Rich, he doesn't even work here anymore. He works at Channel 4. Somehow he got a coach interview that was about 5 years old instead of 5 days old. And the beauty of it is, Doug, I don't think anybody noticed.
No.
They just thought we were in the vault.
Yeah, that's what we used to say. Oh, we're going to go back to the vault now because so many of you have wondered what happened to so-and-so athlete that we covered 10 years ago, when actually it's because we had some sort of technical problem. We don't know how else to fill 2 minutes.
Good evening. Thanks, Van. I'm television's own Doug Chandler Hill, and I'm here live at the St. Charles Family Arena with our top story.
Now, is that AI created?
Yes. That didn't sound like me, did it?
Good evening. Thanks, Van. I'm television's own Doug Chandler Hill, and I'm here live at the St. Charles Family Arena with our top story.
Sounds like a younger Doug.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's like crime Vaughn.
Rochester.
The Miami years. That'd be a great sitcom. Doug Vaughn, the Miami years. It'd be like Miami Vice, but for sports journalism.
Who created AI Doug Vaughn? Was it a listener?
Deke Dotem.
Oh.
Did he get unsuspended for that great body of work?
No, he's suspended
For life?
Yeah.
And forever is a long, long time.
Yeah.
And then didn't Danny Mac on the broadcast welcome Deke's parents to the game?
Hello to Mr. Dotem.
A couple of texters said, what about Ryan Suter? I brought this up the other day, and I said, my understanding is he was interested. And granted, he's an older guy, but he played well last year and helped stabilize their defensive core. My understanding is they talked to him, but he wanted to know about playing time. What's the plan? Because if you're that age, you don't want to sit in the press box. You don't want to be a healthy scratch more times than not. And I don't think they were willing to give him a commitment. That's my understanding. And again, maybe Joey Vitale knows a little more about that, but it does seem like their group there, the bottom group, is struggling a little bit.
Logan Mayu has to be a huge disappointment to him right now because they were counting on this guy to be one of their 6. And he's back in the minor leagues after 9 games with very little production and a minus 12, plus minus. They just didn't feel like he was ready at all. And I think they were counting on to be one of the regular 6 defensemen. And when he's not up to it, now they got to adjust and find somebody else.
Send Booch on one of those 3-week vacations, a.k.a. the Vaughn Special.
Feels like with the Cardinals, people were often requesting them to be sent into the sun. Mm-hmm. We're not getting that much with the Blues.
They don't do the sun. I saw a couple that said into the moon.
Interesting.
So, like, when it's a Cardinal pitcher, especially who's terrible, they get launched right to the sun.
Would you rather be launched to the moon or the sun? Likely the moon, right?
It's a great sports
you're going to
radio
freeze
question.
if you go to the moon, and you're going to burn up if you go to the sun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're not in the spacesuit.
I think it's sooner or later you'd burn up anyway going to the sun.
By the way, totally off topic. Did you see the picture of the guy who, did a skydive directly in the line of the sun, and this picture of him, like his silhouette is right against the sun? It's unbelievable. He's like the very top of the atmosphere, and he jumps from there, and there's this unbelievable picture of him with like solar flares, like the actual sun right behind him. It's incredible.
Huh. Do you know what year this was?
This has just happened.
Just happened.
Yeah.
And he's skydiving from the edge of the atmosphere?
Yeah. People have done that decent amount.
Yeah.
Papers people have taken to your suggestion. Now they have new ideas where to send Buchnevich. Back to the Rangers. Send him to Belize. You think he'd like to go to Belize for a little getaway?
Well, this time of year wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's down there by Mexico, right?
Yeah, Andrew McCarthy is the guy's name.
The actor that was in Pretty in Pink? He was part of the Brat Pack?
He's the guy skydiving?
The image he took the picture. Oh. Features his friend Gabriel Brown, the YouTuber and skydiver, mid-free fall during a skydive jump.
Jackson, that's AI generated from the Jerkwood from Kirkwood.
No, everyone's saying that this is not
everyone's
AI
saying?
generated.
Who said that, Arch?
I'm reading the story right here saying it's not. It's not.
How high do you have to jump and land on the earth before it doesn't matter how much higher you go? Like at certain depth, at what what height? If you fall off a building at 30 feet, you got a chance to survive that, right? 30 feet, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to break your legs. But if you get like to 60, 70 feet, is that almost certain death? 100 feet, I think, would be certain death.
Yeah. I guess whenever you can reach maximum velocity.
So for skydiving, it doesn't really matter how high you're jumping.
Right.
One way or the
unless
other.
that parachute goes off, yeah, you're cooked.
There are the stories of a few people whose parachutes didn't go off and they still survived. Like they hit the slope of a mountain covered in snow.
Oof. Send Boots to Springfield. Send Bruce Nevich, 2 names, Bruce, last name Nevich, to Siberia.
That's not in his contract. You can't just send people to other countries.
Meanwhile, Zach Bolduc, yeah, that guy, has 1 goal and 2 assists in his last 17 games. But an earlier texter did say, we gave up Bolduc for this guy, which, again, if Bolduc ends up having a nice career and Mayu does not.
He got off to a fast start, Bolduc did, but hadn't done much since.
That's correct.
They're calling that photo the fall of Icarus. I like that.
Who was Icarus?
That's the guy who flew too close to the sun. The old story.
Okay, I'm not familiar with his tale.
I thought you were a classics major. I thought this was something you knew.
Icarus.
Yeah. Icarus, you've heard the story, flying too close to the sun. Mm-hmm. That's Icarus.
And is that why we shoot them straight to the sun as an homage?
Greek mythology, Icarus was the son of the master craftsman and the architect of the labyrinth. And, yeah.
Doug, if one of the Blues are traded, will you buy their house, kind of like Holiday and Molina?
Huh.
Just pick up their house?
I wish I could. Couldn't afford any of their houses.
How is Eric Fetty still alive? It's beyond me. He was sent to the sun 7 times last summer. You got to respect the man.
Yeah.
He did get to the sun, and then he pitched for the Braves and the Brewers.
When you guys were playing sports, whether that was high school or whatever, did you like the idea that if you were to play poorly in a game, people would suggest you be shot into the sun?
There's sometimes it just kind of felt like that.
That seemed fair?
No, it didn't seem fair.
No.
Send Booch to Webster. Just keep him out of Cottleville. Now, here we go. It's Webster versus Cottleville, even when talking about Bruce Nevich.
One of the stranger wars that goes on.
Yeah. Of all the cities you wouldn't think would be in this heated conflict, Cottleville and Webster, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But I don't get much of what our texters say, so figures.
They speak in code, Doug. You guys are fighting the good fight to get to 11 o'clock, but I didn't have how far can you fall before you die on my bingo card. Terrific stuff. That's from Arbor Day.
Yeah, I think it's about 100 feet, probably. You would have a shot inside of that.
I mean, is the story 10 feet or is it more? I'm crowdsourcing.
10 to 12 feet, I think.
How tall is a story? Because I feel like 3 stories is about as big as a story is typically between 8 and 14 feet tall.
Okay.
But although common average is around 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen Breaking Bad, you would know my vacation to Belize reference. I watched Breaking Bad, but I don't recall that. I apologize.
It's been some time since.
Who went to Belize?
I can't remember.
Maybe it's a reference when you're about to off somebody. Yeah. Feels like it could be a Sopranos-esque line, too. Send Booch to the Pirates. Maybe they'll open his eyes. Is that a new report, guys? Referencing what you guys are talking about. There's 3
Breaking
shows
Bad
going
used trip to Belize as a euphemism for murder.
Oh.
Jake in St. John. Martin, can you please pay attention to the YouTube chat? Thank you. All right, the YouTube chat is not up for me currently.
No, we can't see it.
Okay. I'm looking up to the screen, the Ed Herman glance, to see what insulting things are being said. Jeremy Hodge just said he pushed a wrestler. Does that help, Doug?
He pushed
a wrestler.
A wrestler. What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. That's in the YouTube chat. I'm not ignoring it. It's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. The show is brought to you by Brown & Crouppen. Text line is brought to you by Air Comfort Service. 399-9646. Collier & Thompson phone lines at 974-0101. Chairman Kurt on the phones. Martin, Doug, Jackson with you. Joey Vitale at 8:15. Gabe DeArmond coming up at 9 o'clock here on TMA.
Michael's Flooring has been family and locally owned for over 30 years. Michael takes great pride in helping and making sure his employees are happy and make a great living. You can go online and learn more about Michael's Flooring at igotfloored.com. And right now you can get 3 samples for free from Proximity Mills. Michael's passions flooring, and when you order from him, he wants you to have the best experience for the best price. That's why he's making sure he gets the best installers and giving them $7 a square yard, which is awesome compensation in this industry. Just come on in or talk to them and you're going to see the difference. They want to make sure they suggest the best thing for you, not pushing what corporate is telling them they have too much of. There is a reason he's continued to grow through the last 31 years. Employees love working for him as they feel like family, and he makes sure they are taken care of, and this then rubs off to the families buying the product as they know they have the best interests of the buyers at heart. They have it all, but carpet's awesome, and it's back. They have so many varieties of all flooring in 3 easy-to-get-to locations in St. Louis, in Creve Coeur, Darden Prairie, and St. Peter's. Come see why people are loving getting floored by Michael, and make sure you visit igotfloored.com.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lose last night in overtime 3-2 at the hands of the Philadelphia Flyers. Off today, back in action tomorrow. A little afternoon tilt against the Islanders. That's going to be a 1:30 p.m. pregame with a 2:30 puck drop right here on your home of the Blues, 101 ESPN. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See you on Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
The gateway city's hearts ignite. Under the arch we bring the fight. Benny in the net, holding the line tight. Blues.
Now, last year, these songs help or hurt when things turned around? Because we'd kind of given up on the team. Doug kept saying they could get hot and they'd be fine, and they did get hot, and they weren't fine. But we played a lot of these, and I can't remember if it helped.
I think it helps.
Okay.
It helps lift our spirits a wee bit.
Doug, please make the rain stop. We missed the sun. Thank you in advance.
Geez, we went, a month and a half without any rain?
Yeah.
Got to have a little bit. It is kind of gloomy and depressing out there right now, though.
We've had a pretty good stretch.
We've had an unbelievable stretch, really. To think that we were still looking at 75 degrees as of last week. I remember some Thanksgivings where there was snow on the ground. I don't think we're going to get that.
No.
Guys, less sports talk. More jump to your death talk, please. That's from the Jerkwit from
I'm putting
Kirkwood.
it right at 100 feet. Where you don't have much of a chance after that.
Martin, do your job. That's all it says. Scissor me timbers. Martin, do your job, which is to go to the phone lines, which are brought to you by Callier Thompson. And on the line, we hear a lot about Papers Buddies. They all have cute little nicknames. This is Herb.
Herb. With some Eli Drinkwitz takes.
Oh, wow. Herb, welcome to the show. Happy Friday,
What's up,
Herb.
boys?
Hello,
Happy
Herbie.
Friday. What's up, boys?
Well, I don't know. You called. We figured we'd ask you that question.
Yeah, fair enough. I just wanted to call it. I was workshopping some takes with Jackson earlier this week.
All right.
And I guess the idea with Mizzou football, I don't have any hockey takes because I don't care about hockey. But
Oh, wow. And you're in the
football,
alliance with Papers. Imagine that.
That's my boy, ride or die.
Papers is like skier puck compared to me. I lived in St. Louis 20 years, never went to a Blues game.
Oh, why not?
I don't like that you get a point for winning or losing in overtime.
Just that kept you away?
Like, you should get a point for losing.
Okay.
It's I don't know. Anyways, I think my take on Drinkwitz is he's gone. And keep in mind I'm a true son. I went to Mizzou, and then also, but that's okay. It's okay that if he gets an offer, he's going to leave. And I think that because he had every reason to sign an extension with a true freshman quarterback, not knowing how the rest of the season will play out. I mean, if he wanted to be at Mizzou and not at one of these other places, he would have signed. I know he talked about the Fortune 500 stuff. I think that's BS, like just an excuse. Yeah, I mean, he'd be gone. And then also, I think that's okay. I mean, he's kind of a product of the environment in a way. You think back to, like, at the end of 2022, I feel like not very many people were sold on Eli. Obviously, he had a great 2023. I'll give him credit there. But the last 2 years, I mean, all he's had is just a weirdly easy schedule because the SEC, expanded and decided you'd play the same opponents 2 years in a row and beat up on some of the worst teams in the SEC. And he won those games, but, like, I don't know. I think last 2 years Mizzou has been kind of a paper tiger. And when next year Mizzou has a tough SEC schedule, it's going to be a challenge regardless of who's the coach.
So,
I mean, if yeah, go ahead.
I was Herb, because you went to Mizzou, among your Mizzou buddies, what do you think the drink approval rating is? And is it, hey, it's fun, the games are bigger, but we don't really win the big? I guess I shouldn't give you the answer. What does your Mizzou friendship circle think of the coach?
I think it's generally high approval because, like you said, it's like Mizzou football is exciting. I think he's a great salesman. I don't think anyone would argue that. But, like, again, it's still same old Mizzou. Finds a way to lose the big games. Can't quite get there. You know, I don't think he's really changed that.
Would it be safe to say, Herb, that you think that Eli Drinkwitz has elevated Missouri to a level it wasn't at 5-6 years ago, but has failed to break the ceiling of that next level? My question is, do you think that Eli Drinkwitz has the capability to break that ceiling?
I don't think he's shown it yet. I mean, yes, he's broken the level, but, like, let's be honest, if Mizzou had Florida's schedule the last 2 years, I don't know if Drinkwitz is the coach right now.
And Mizzou next season, we've talked a lot about it, but the SEC portion at least, the conference schedule, Oklahoma is coming to Furrow Field, Texas is coming, Texas A&M is coming back, and then Mizzou travels to Georgia, and they travel to Ole Miss. So the schedule does look a little more daunting next year. Herb, Herb is not your real name. Is that fair?
Herb is not my real name. It's a nickname.
There you go.
But where did it come from, this nickname of yours?
Herb Jones, New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, clearly.
Is that right?
Hey, lockdown defender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Herb's a good ball player.
Okay.
Yeah, that should have been obvious to me.
Well, Herb, I hate to break it to you, but Herb, it's not playing well in the text line. I don't know if you saw that coming or not, but thank you for...
Not super surprised. All right, thank you, boys. I'm heading into work now.
All right, sorry to bother you, Herb.
Jeez, there's the upset. Doug, he's got a job.
Oh, yeah. Herb's in NYC.
Oh, he's in NYC.
Yeah, Manhattan living.
Ooh.
What's he do up there?
Work.
What kind of work?
Work.
Oh.
If it's not,
so it's secretive.
If it's not media or show business, I don't even.
You don't care.
Recognize it.
Maybe it's something in the financial sector.
Spreadsheets and such.
And none. Okay.
Manute Bowl eligible said, unless it's the ghost of Herb Humphreys, no more Herbs on the show, please. I've never been less proud to be a Mizzou alum. That's from Manute Bowl eligible. And then I think this is more of a serious response. Sorry, Herb, this is a bad take. Eli not signing keeps his name in the national media, which is a great recruiting tool. Same for Lane at Ole Miss. They aren't going to do anything before the end of the season. I think something that we talked about is he wants, while he had, even if he's planning on staying, Predictionary I said he would leave. But if you're planning on staying, you milk it a little bit, trying to get this whole NIL thing. If he really believes that's the difference is getting these Fortune 500 companies, you play the leverage game. And Mizzou says, hey, we're trying to get him to stay. Can you just get on board?
That's where I talked with Herb earlier this week over text, and that's where we disagree. Is like I don't think him not signing the extension is like
a sign.
Exactly. I think it makes more sense for so many reasons. Leverage for his own personal, what you just said with the keeping your name in the national media, which helps with recruiting, having some leverage in that way. Like I think there's a lot of benefits to not signing, even if he intends to stay, not doing it just right away.
But does it really help with recruiting when those recruits might not know for sure that you're even going to be there?
Sure. I get that. I get that from that standpoint. But also, you know, we've talked about this. What's more important, the high school recruiting or the transfer portal? And those kids can't leave until January. So if he does sign before then, but his name's been in the media as this like coach that might go to Penn State or might go to LSU, some transfer portal players might be like, oh, he's staying in Missouri? Some consistency as opposed to a brand new start. Maybe that's a benefit. Maybe that's where I want to go play next year. I'm not saying that that is the most logical reason, but you got to think like sometimes people don't make make decisions based on all logic, and sometimes it's on feel or on circumstance. I don't know.
Guys, it's hard to think that Mizzou's moving in the right direction. The longtime basement team Vanderbilt has for sure passed Mizzou now. Not a good sign for Drink. That's from the Swing Haven board member.
They're playing better, but it doesn't make it like necessarily like a better destination for someone who's looking to transfer.
And that's why the Oklahoma game, where it doesn't matter, quote unquote, does not matter because you're not getting into the playoff this year. Although Doug did have a scenario where if every single team, maybe 12 of them were to lose, it would at least open the door just a slight bit.
Truman.
But if you win that game, at least Drinkwitz can say, listen, that was a big-time game. Oklahoma had everything to play for, and we went in there and we beat them. I wouldn't predict that. Are we doing SEC games later?
Yeah.
Are we doing okay. So we'll get to the Mizzou predictions.
If they beat Oklahoma, their conference record would be the same as Oklahoma's at 4-3.
Yeah. Right.
And they'd also both be 8-3 overall.
Yep.
Did Herb vote for Mondavi? Sounds like he smokes too much herb.
Not fair. Not fair to my boy.
So if Drink leaves, do we get to blame Tim's spreadsheet? That actually was texted in yesterday as well. Do we think the spreadsheet, which was just a bunch of facts, would be a reason? Like, daggum, they came after me and all that other crud was going on?
Well, if that is the reason, then he probably shouldn't have been here in the first place. If objective data is what could cause him to leave.
Herb was told to suck rocks. That's from Ray King.
Oh, come on, Ray.
Suck rocks. I've heard of kick rocks.
Yeah, well, it's a new twist.
You could damage your teeth,
I'd say.
Why doesn't this guy visit the sun and Belize?
How close do you get to the sun?
Oh, here we go, Doug. He's got
I think
questions.
the guy jumped 3,500 feet with that picture.
Well, it's probably still freezing cold at that level.
yeah.
But how close until it starts to get hot?
To the sun?
How far into space do you go from being cold? My God, who turned on the thermostat?
All right, you and me, Doug, this afternoon, we'll go to Cape Canaveral. We'll sneak onto a ship, a rocket ship, and we'll just fire ourselves up there. It'll take about 3 months.
93 million miles to the sun. Right?
Yeah, I think I read something like 3.5 months it takes to get there.
How would anyone know?
Well, you can just based on the distance.
Yeah. But you'd melt before you got there, so it would take you longer than that.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd burn
And
out.
Venus is just molten like lava and gas, right?
Yeah. So you want to go
So
there?
you don't want to get that far.
Right. So what planet are we going to?
I don't think you get to stop over at a planet.
No.
There's nowhere to land.
I guess Mars. We can go to Mars.
Shoot Herb to Neptune.
Cold.
Holy cow, Herb, take a breath. Please gong this guy.
You can't win as a call.
You must actually hate your
I told him. I go, you're going to call, and everyone's going to hate it.
Get him off
That
the
didn't deter
airwaves. Papers swing and a miss on Herb.
I thought Chairman
You didn't
Kirk
tell
can
him
back
to
me
call
up.
in.
I didn't coerce him into calling in. He told me, he's like, I really want to call in.
It was a
Some free
reasonable
states.
take.
Is
He
this
he thinks
loser
he's
on a
gone.
treadmill?
He thinks he's gone, and he thinks Mizzou can recover and find someone else that good.
He's allowed to have takes.
Yeah.
Ring the buzzer. You must actually hate your listeners. It's a lot. All it takes is one
It's not
call.
fair, man.
And I love Papers, and I love his friends by extension. But anyone who does venture to call in or to host a show when Tim's out, somebody sent me to Sudan. That's where I was sent.
I think the
Which I
listeners,
believe is probably a hostile place in this moment.
Not a great place to go right now.
Correct.
I think the listeners like the calls just so they can type in how much they hate the calls.
100%. Well, that's it's part of the circus we got going on over here.
But
And it's
some
all brought
callers-
to you, Doug, by Brown and Crouppen. Those are the
Title
people who
sponsor,
bring
right?
us
Right?
that, and Tim's
Yeah.
going to tell us
Well,
about
that
the
would
title
make sense.
sponsor, Brown and Crouppen, right now.
Brown and Crouppen, the presenting sponsor of TMA, going back a couple of years, signed up for 2026 as well, and we ask that you support the sponsors. That's the reason why the show is on the air. Listeners supporting the sponsors, and if you are in need of a personal injury attorney, don't you want a local law firm, one that knows how to handle the ins and the outs of your case and the local environment? It's Brown and Crouppen, committed to the St. Louis area and local. Brown and Crouppen, truly part of the community. After an accident, money can be tight, and that's why they offer so much for free. First call free, first consultation free. Stuck at home or the hospital, they come to you for free. If you think you may need Brown and Crouppen services, call 314-222-2222 or go to brownandcrouppen.com and make sure you let them know you heard about them on TMA. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Past results are no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own accord.
Sure, it's Friday, but let's get Jackson's friends to call in and ramble about nonsense when some of us are driving to Norman to witness an upset. Be better, pal. How about that? Somebody's driving in. I would actually like to talk to the folks driving in.
Call in.
Call in.
If you didn't like the call earlier,
top it.
Call your own damn self.
The bar has been set for you, the callers. Driving to Norman.
Why don't you just tell us the take you'd like to give?
Did you see we had a fatal shooting at the airport this morning?
I did. I just went to the New York
Said
Post
that.
earlier.
You kind of
and I
said that
saw
with a glimmer in your eye. That was.
You just never know what's going to happen in the city.
Yeah, real mixed
1
bag.
a.m., guy had a knife and they wouldn't drop it.
At the airport? I missed
Yeah,
this.
advanced at the police officers. They tased him, and I guess he kept coming. They shot him.
Oof. Wow. In other news, Joey Vitale is next. He's on the East Coast with the Blues. They lose to the Flyers 3-2 in overtime last night, despite another 2-goal lead. We'll break it down with Joey next on TMA.
Yo, folks, Joe Vitale here, and I got to talk to you about your garage door, the heat, the cold, the ups, the downs. It's cold one morning, hot at night. Those springs can get a little finicky. I know from experience, it ain't good. The squealing, the squawking, it wakes everyone up in the house, and mama's not happy, kids aren't happy. So let's get that garage door tuned up so you guys can be up and out your way and depend on that thing to do the job it's supposed to do. Any garage door needs, give my friend Jason a call at 636-782-3608. Schaefer Door Company. That's his company. It's a personalized St. Louis company, rather. They do a heck of a job. They take care of people in local. They take care of people around the St. Louis area. They're going to give you the personal touch, but they got enough workers to get around the St. Louis area and give you the touch you need in a timely manner. So give them a call, 636-782-3608. Jason and his wonderful company at SchaeferDoorGarageCompany.com. You guys can get everything you need. Schaefer Door, Clopay Master, authorized dealer.
Well, Doug, we got a hockey team that's on the road. They're bonding,
Right, sure.
spending time. I heard off air the logistics. I love the logistics. Apparently, the boys, Joey Vitale can tell us, this Blues analyst, former Pittsburgh Penguin. He hates those Flyers. You got to hate them even more with 2 losses in the past week. Joey, welcome to the show.
Yo, boys, how's it going? Yeah, two losses to the Flyers in about a week span. Not much gets me down. You know, I'm a pretty positive guy, guys, but this is too much to swallow for me this morning.
Even Gritty was in the building last Friday at Enterprise Center. I
know, and he's stealing stuff from the gift shop, and he's ruining Louis. Oh, he tried to ruin Louis' birthday, you know, being all his antics. I have nightmares of that big orange clowny-looking thing. But, yeah, the Flyers got the Blues once again last night, and Blues slept here, and we're going to get up on the road, practice this morning, head to the island, and hopefully the great state of New York will favor the Blues here as they try to turn this road trip around.
All right, so you are still in Philly at this moment.
We are still in Philly. Where is Tim?
No,
what are you doing?
He's out.
Tim is out today. If you want to invite him, is the Christmas party coming up, Doug? That's got to be soon.
I think so.
That's got to be. Why did you want to invite Tim over the air? Is that what it was?
He's got the pre-planning. He's getting all the pre-planning. No, we're not doing the big Christmas. There's no time. There's no time for the Christmas bash this year. So we are going to take at least a year off. The Blues schedule, it's so condensed with the Olympics and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, the limited time we have, my wife and I, we decided that we're just going to slow down this December. And we just really looking forward to spending time with the kids and just being a family because I've been on the road so much. So I can't imagine that Tim is going to be excited when I tell him that. You guys probably will because your feelings won't be quite as hurt this year.
Right.
Not being invited to a party that's not existing or happening, rather.
Well, what if this could be the ultimate twist that you're lying and saying, oh, there's no party, and then, Doug, we find out later. You see on somebody on Facebook, Vitale collects their phones, but then somebody sneaks out with a picture.
No, listen, living in Kirkwood with social media, that'd be like trying to take a puck, right? A valuable puck in a game that you're not supposed to take. No, nothing like that. No. So there's nothing like that.
Back of the jersey.
Yeah, there's nothing like that going on here. But I will say, I do miss Tim. But you guys hanging in. As long as you got Jackson, as I always felt.
He's under the weather. We got Tim is out. Jackson's under the weather. We're plowing ahead. That's what we do.
I'm a warrior, Joey.
Linchpin.
Listen, I don't think I've ever called in and Jackson's not been there. I mean, he's like Jake Neighbors. He's like break his bone and let's just get him right back out there. He'll finish the game. I mean, he's probably on a lot of medication right now to get through the sniffles or whatever he's on.
Yeah.
But he's a gamer. He's a hockey guy.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I am. I'm a hockey guy.
Without a helmet.
I'm a glue guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. No bucket in warm-ups.
Kind
That's
of a
how I do it.
grinder and plumber.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's a glue guy.
All right, so what do we make of this? It's 2 games on the road trip, both overtime losses, and then last night, sort of more of the same and getting a 2-goal lead. And I don't want to steal Doug's question, but he has brought this up a couple of times. Is there some sort of, whether it's strategy or mindset, that when they get up by 2 to kind of ease up a little bit?
No, I don't think it's a mindset. I mean, maybe last week, Marty, the one at home versus the Flyers, and maybe sat back a little bit in that game. You surrendered 2-goal leads in that one. And I think that you look at that game, that was a byproduct of maybe sitting back a little bit or, maybe a little carelessness with the puck at times. So I think that, Jim Montgomery looked at that loss as like, hey, we got to take better care of that puck, especially with a 2-goal lead. So you kind of solve that and you kind of move on, right? I think last night wasn't the same thing. I think last night you have a 2-goal lead. You played an incredible first couple periods of hockey. And I don't think this team sat back at all. I think they just had a problem extending the lead, right? You had opportunities to extend the lead to 3. Jake Neighbors missed on a breakaway. I mean, Kyrou with a 2-2 game missed on the back door. Dvorsky could have had the go-ahead goal there in the third after a great net front crash by Buchnevich. I thought Pavel Buchnevich had probably his best game of the season. So he had opportunities. So plenty of opportunities to take it to 3-0 or take it to 3-1. And they didn't do it, right? So I think last night's game was a byproduct of you don't extend the lead when your best players have the puck on their stick in close areas. So how do you frame all that, or how do you sum all that up as to what is the issue then? Well, the issue to me, it's like that whack-a-mole game. You have an issue of goaltending at the beginning of the year, you whack it, you figure it out. Then you have an issue of too many high-quality chances in front of the net, let's whack that. Then all of a sudden your top guys aren't scoring very much. Well, last week versus Philadelphia, they were on fire. You whack that. But it seemed like every time you whack something, another issue kind of pops up. And, the old expression is, I think for Jim Montgomery, he probably feels like he's renovating an old house, where you guys ever renovated the house, you think, okay, I'm gonna hit this room. And then you bust through that room. And all of a sudden you realize, well, we got electrical problems throughout the whole house. Well, let's solve the electrical problems. And then as you kind of start going through the walls, then you realize you got a mold problem. So it's like going through an old house and going through this team right now, that's the growing pains, right? You try to solve one thing, and then all of a sudden some other things kind of pop up. And the way out of it, you just keep going, right? You just keep working through it. And this is a head coach and that really feels good that this is a relentless group that's going to figure it out. From watching above guys, I feel the same way, that the process really is there, and they are just that close to really kind of getting over that hump of what they need to really start piling some wins together.
You said you thought Buchnevich may have played his best game of the season, yet he continues to be the focus of a lot of frustration among the fans. What are you seeing that a lot of the fans aren't?
Well, even before last night's game, this is a player, and I go back to what Craig Berube told me about 4 years ago, one of his final years, and we were talking about Buchnevich. At the time of the season, he was also struggling or something. And he said, I would never take him out because he's our best 200-foot player. And that was a team, that was in the final year with Ryan O'Reilly, who, of course, Ryan O'Reilly, to me, is in this game still one of the best 200-foot centermen. So that's a big comment from a coach that knows his way around this league and knows personnel and knows greatness when he sees it. And I think that really sums up why he continues to be played and why he continues to be put out there. Because his game is not just about points and production. He is a well-rounded winger. He's played center a lot in his career, especially early in his career, where when you have that type of mindset, you're going to take care of things in the defensive zone. You're going to be on the right side of battles. I'm watching him, poke pucks free rather last night in that game. Just very responsible, especially with the stick work. He's a step or two ahead of so many plays. Like, he's a give-and-go hockey player. And I think that Jim Montgomery is still trying to figure out what that chemistry looks like with the personnel. But when Pavel's at his best, he's playing give-and-go hockey. In the offensive zone, he's giving it and he's jumping, right? And then he's getting to an area. He's not putting the puck in an area where Robert Thomas is, for example. He's putting the puck in an area where he sees Jimmy Snuggerud skating into it, where there's no one there. It's open space. So it's those types of things that you just can't teach. That's what he's been bringing. And I think that last night really illuminated all those things to the point where he had 2 or 3 amazing opportunities for a goal, and it just didn't click. But I promise you one thing, if Pavel Buchnevich plays the way he played last night, or even somewhat close to it, if he plays that way for the remaining 3 more games in this road trip, he is going to get rewarded. I guarantee you. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, it's just nature. Nature will take over because he was on top of it last night. But better yet, Doug, it's a player that he feels like he's running in dry sand right now, and it's tough, right? But he's relentless. He's sticking with it. His attitude has looked really good, even though offensively he's had these struggles. I saw him smiling last night. He's getting picked up by his teammates. He's so beloved in that locker room. His personality is really infectious, and he's a driver of this team. So I know the point production isn't there, but he does so many other things away from that that really, to me, you can't take him out of the lineup.
They've played better. The goaltending's been better. The games are getting closer, but they're still not winning. When is it a concern that in the room or even on the ice they're thinking, oh, God, here we go. We're probably going to give up a goal. Like, how can that not seep into – I'm watching the game going, okay, they're going to give up the lead. Okay, they're probably going to lose. And unfortunately, watching the games, you feel that way. What about them on the ice?
It's hard to say, Marty, because I'm not down there. I can give you a player's perspective on it from when I played. The game-to-game, the day-in, day-out energy, right? You're trying to debunk it. You're trying to flip the script, if you will. Right now, the times are tough, and everyone so desperately wants it to go the other way. But they're in this kind of gray transition area, and this is the transition area that really can make or break your season, and it's really about the personnel. But being on that bench, if you're having goaltending issues, for example, and you're playing hard for the first 10 minutes of the game, and maybe you're out shooting your opponent 8-2, and all of a sudden that third shot goes in, maybe a soft goal. Well, what does it do? We're humans. It's human nature, right? You're going to sink into that, and you're going to be like, oh, boy, like here we go again, right? So that is human nature. I think that is a part of any team is finding inconsistencies, and I look at, last night's game, that goal goes in, of course, in overtime. And, it's a deflating feeling because it just happened in the Toronto Maple Leafs game, and it's for different reasons, too. I mean, you're feeling the same feeling, but it's not at least a consistent problem. The Maple Leafs game a couple of games ago, you lose a battle, you got to win that battle, right? I didn't see any battles really lost in overtime last night, but your centerman got kind of tripped up and tangled up. Shen got tangled up with Couturier, and it led to the 2-0. If he doesn't get tangled up there, you're back. And I know I sound like I'm making excuses, but I'm not. It really is just different warts are popping up in different games. And ultimately, it kind of goes back to that analogy of, renovating a home. It's like Jim Montgomery. You just go back to the work and you just try to figure out a way out of this problem you're facing now. And hopefully, over time, if you resolve 5, 6, 7 problems in a row, maybe all the problems start to really stick as far as how they're going to get out of it. And then you start to build something, and you build something in the right direction.
I was talking about the defenseman minutes earlier, and, Broberg plays 26, and then you look down at Kessel's at 10. That's a big disparity, and I know the third line always plays way less, but is that normal in the NHL? You think that's a little more of a disparity?
Well, it's a lot, Marty. It is. There's no way around it, especially with as many games as the Blues are heading into, as many games as the Blues are even playing this year. I go back to the Olympic break in February. For fans that don't know, there's a 3-week gap in February. And you know what? They didn't really start the season any later, and they're going to finish it right on time. So what does that tell you? It tells you that, there's going to be a ton of games squashed into the amount of time they have before that big break. So with all that being said, the minutes, they got to be managed. They got to be monitored, if you will. And, right now I think this is a team that really they're not really managing them that well because – you have a third pair that's maybe not, stepping up in the way that they really need them to, and there's a lot of youth back there, with Kessel and Tucker last night. It was Hunter Skinner last week. They're trying to find it. Logan Mailloux got sent down, and they're trying to find out what that chemistry looks like. So it's kind of a quagmire for Mike Weber and Jim Montgomery. It's the old catch-22 where, you want to balance minutes, but I think I want to say Kessel and Tucker were out there for a couple of goals again last night, and not saying this is on them, but if Mike Weber and Jim Montgomery, if they can't feel 100% confident with the minutes a third pair is going to give you, well, then you have to kind of lean into your top four. And then the problem becomes, again, it's the old whack-a-mole game. Well, then you have your top four playing 25, 26, 27 minutes, and then you got to worry about the wear and tear, not only in that game, Marty, but also, like, again, we got a lot of hockey coming up, so you got to worry about the next game and how do you manage practice time and all that. So, it kind of goes back to, one of the issues that we really have seen this year, and I know I've mentioned it, it's worth noting again. You lost 2,500 games of experience on the back end, guys that took care of good minutes back there for you, Nick Leddy and Ryan Suter, and you replace them with young guys, which you want because you want to grow, and those guys can't stick around forever, But right now, I think the issue is that are we putting on too much on them too soon, and do they have the right grooming personnel around them to kind of get through this little bit of a hump in the season?
Do you think Armstrong and Montgomery like this group, this team as it's put together right now, enough to stick with it for another couple months and see what happens, or would you expect them to shake it up here pretty soon?
Oh, I think that without a doubt, you always look at one thing, Doug, to make that decision. The thing about it is you're losing hockey games, but are you playing a losing brand of hockey? Don't get mesmerized by winning games. We were talking to Brad Treliving. I wasn't talking to him, but he had a press conference with the Toronto Maple Leafs, a few days ago in Toronto, and he said, it's concerning as a GM where even when we're winning games, we're not winning games, right? We're winning on the scoreboard, but we're not playing winning hockey. So that's a concern for Treliving, of course, in Toronto. So for Doug Armstrong, it's less about at times where you are in the standings, and it's more about, do we have the brand of hockey that can pull us out of this? We're losing games by a small margin, but are we playing winning hockey? Do we have the tools here to play winning hockey? Doug, go back to 2019. It's a fair comparison. The team back in 18 really struggled under Mike Yeo. But I remember thinking up there the whole time, like, gosh, there's close. There's something magical here, that they have the right personnel. You see spurts of it. You see greatness. Now can we just make it more consistent, And of course, that year turned it around. And for me, I can just give you my impression. I see that here. I really do. I mean, you're losing games by a very small margin, but you're still maybe lacking in production from top six. That that's going to get going pretty soon. I think that Binnington and Hofer had a rough start to the season. They're working their way back up, right? It's trending upward. So a lot of things are trending up. And you talk to these players, and I kind of small talk with them quite a bit in the hotels, and this is a group that's not defeated. I'm not just saying that. I kind of pick their brains a little bit. You try to get a read on them. Like, where are they at? Are they done? Like, are they like, this is over? They're not. I mean, they're really not. This is a group saying, gosh, we just fixed this, we're going to be all right, or we're close, or once we get him going, we're going to be good. Like, there's a lot of optimism about this group. And to me, to answer your question, I think Doug Armstrong and Steen are looking at this group saying that there's enough winning style of hockey, there's enough winning habits that we're starting to see. We just got to get that result now. And I think the results will come over time. It's just going to take a little more time. So I would imagine they're going to stay put here for a little bit.
You've got 3 nights in Philly. What do you do? And then Long Island, are we not busing? Are we taking a train to Long Island? Are we flying today? And have we had any fun yet? You've been in Toronto, major international city. For some reason, they left after the game Tuesday. I would have stayed probably in a more expensive hotel, probably part of the logistics, spend 3 days in Philly. Give me some tales from the road here.
Ah, jeez, Marty. I mean, you and me are not on the same page. We could never travel together. Get me out of Toronto as soon as you can. I just don't like. It's like busy like New York, but they use Canadian currency, and instead
well, yeah, that's because it's Canadian. It's Canada. Doug, they use their own currency.
Well, yeah,
you don't like that.
Seems fair.
No, I like American currency. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Okay. It's fine. Toronto's fine. It's a busy city. You got to cross the border. It's long travel. It's hectic to get from the airport. Okay. I like convenience. I'm getting older. I like convenience. But, we're in Philly now. To me, We got through the tougher two cities on this road trip: Toronto, Philly. I don't like Philly. I already told you guys why I don't like Philly. I'm not a big fan of the city. Can't wait to get out of this stinking city. And then, but we're heading to some really good cities now. So we go to Long Island today, and then of course we're going to
Manhattan for a few nights.
Yeah, we're going to be in Manhattan for a few nights. Of course, one of the food meccas of the country, if you will. I love kind of doing a jump around as far as like trying different pizzas throughout the Manhattan area, trying some new shops right there. So I'm excited about that. Speaking of, hey, there's a new shop in Clayton. Have you guys heard about this shop? Nettie's?
No.
Pizza Den? I have to give a shout out. I had this Nettie's pizza. It is maybe one of the best pizzas now in St. Louis. I don't do this often, but go to Nettie's Pizza Den. It's in Clayton. My boy, Mike Randolph, opened it up.
What? Okay, Nettie's, Netty?
No, Netties Pizza Den. Shout out Nettie's and Mike Randolph, you animal. Absolutely.
Animal. He's an animal. I'm going to go in there today. I'm seriously going to go there and ask him. I'm saying, where's that freaking animal at?
You're going to see
Merry
him.
Christmas, you filthy animals.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to see him absolutely tossing pies in the back. His hair's all over the map. He's wearing a backwards lid. This guy just loves pizza. And I'm telling you, I think I had it a couple weeks ago. I think about it on an hourly basis, boys. Go get you some.
Okay. Wow. You just did a drop. I think Nettie's Pizza. Okay. You're. I would never say you're a Dago, but people would probably text that in and say terrible things about you being a great Italian, which is what I would call you. Did you go to the Rocky statue in Philly?
No, I don't go to the stupid stairs. Stupid stairs.
You really hate Philly.
You hate Philly. You hate Toronto.
Yeah,
you hate Canadian.
There's some angry people there.
Yeah, I don't like this place. Although it was interesting. I learned a lot about Rocky. Remember Mr. Murphy? Was it Mr. Murphy at the cinema class at CBC?
Mr. Murray, Tom Murray, the great cinema teacher. Yeah, the great theater teacher, I should say.
The great theater. Yeah, he taught. We actually spent like a whole semester on the movie Rocky, which you learn a lot about. Like Sylvester Stallone, he wrote the script for the movie, and he had many big companies. They wanted to pay him like a lot of money for the script because it was so good. But the only exception was that he couldn't be Rocky. Like they wanted their own actors, their own cast. And Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, he didn't want to give that up. Like he felt like, he wanted to be the star in the movie. He felt like no one could do it like him. So he bet on himself, and he ended up just doing the script and writing it on a very low budget, which was crazy at the time. And then, of course, they won the Best Picture. It was an interesting story, which, of course, what I think makes that Rocky statue and the stairs even more kind of glamorous when you think about how it all put together.
And you go, you got Adrian, you got to call up later, we'll buy some turtles and stuff. But I love Sly.
Hey, butt kiss.
Butt kiss.
That was his real dog. That was his real dog in the movie, by the way. People don't know that either. Butt kiss. He actually sold the dog because he was like having some financial troubles when he wrote the movie. And then I guess he made some more money, so he bought the dog back. So the dog took him back.
God, how tight's the budget when you got to sell a dog? Like, what's the return on selling the dog?
What did you get for the dog? It was $50
for Burgess Meredith's trailer.
Listen, I don't know. I would never sell a dog. I've gotten rid of a couple chickens in my day.
I was going to say, I feel like you don't talk about the chickens anymore, and I don't know if you were told not to talk about the chickens or if Kirkwood came and took them all away.
No, the chickens are still there. Me and the chickens we're having a bit of a run-in. They're not pumping the eggs out. Let's just say like we had originally planned. We're putting in a lot of effort here. We're not really getting a lot of payback, if you know what I mean.
Oh wow, sounds like some more Yolas. We're going to Nettie's, Jackson. You and I are going there later.
And someone's got to get these chickens in shape. I mean, it's
for an animal.
You don't get chickens for them not to lay eggs.
We got lazy chickens, Jackson. They're lazy. They're probably on their tablets all day.
Right.
Right. Just doing kid stuff. We're going to kick them in gear.
These chickens wouldn't be on the penalty kill.
Oh, heck. These chickens would never be able to do your job, Jackson.
That's damn right.
Show up.
Aren't you supposed to get like 3 or 4 eggs a week out of a chicken? Is that about normal?
I think you're supposed to get between 5 to 6 a week. Yeah, so they don't lay them technically, Doug, every day, but they're pretty doggone close. I mean, it's like every now and then we'll get an egg like once every 4 days on all these chickens, and it's like gold. It's like that Aesop family. You ever read that Aesop there, Doug?
Yeah, sure.
About the,
Yeah.
He talked about I think it was ASAP. He talks about the gold egg, and there's a goose rather, and the goose would lay gold eggs every so often, and the farm family was like, wow, this is amazing. So they, but then the farmer got greedy one day, and he's like, well, I just want them all. So he cut the goose open, and then there was no more gold eggs. So the moral of the story is, leave what's good enough alone.
Right.
The opposite side of change is the golden goose.
That's it.
Now people are texting pizza takes. Tell Joey to go to Hopskeller in Waterloo. Better pizza than anywhere. Nikki Slices on the Hill is the GOAT. Now,
Nikki's is good.
That's the new place,
Nikki's.
right?
Nikki's is Detroit style. He actually started during COVID. It's a cool story where he started chucking these pies on a membership where he would drive around and drop pizzas off. Awesome story. But he's got a great shop there, brand new on the hill. It absolutely is. I still love Louis on Demond. They got a great Neapolitan pizza there, no doubt about that.
Do you like Neapolitan style?
I do. It's a little flimsy. I know it's a little flimsy for some, But that brick oven, there's something about the char of the brick oven.
Yeah, I do like the crust.
I do. Union Loafers, my boy Ted Wilson. Shout out
good.
Teddy Boy. He's got a bacon and spinach pizza that'll blow your mind. But right now, Nettie's.
Went somewhere and came back.
I think about Nettie's on a daily basis, boys. I go to bed dreaming about Nettie. So give my boy Mike Randolph a shout
back
out.
to Nettie. I was trying to help out and balance it out. This guy's back to Nettie's and the animal there.
It's going to change your life. Change your life. I'm telling you.
A lot of texters, a lot of comments. Brah. They take U.S. dollars in Canada. Toronto's 1,000 times better city than the Mound City proper and our amazing downtown that looks like Beirut. So some folks are standing up for the big T.O.
Hey, brah. You sound like one of my chickens, brah.
All right.
I don't mess with that. I don't mess with brah.
All right, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the trip. 3 more games till back for a little Thanksgiving here. We celebrate that in the U.S., not in Canada, but we've got the Islander game tomorrow, afternoon game. Rangers Monday, Devils on Wednesday. It's the Cam Janssen Cup, and then back to St. Louis. Joey, we'll talk to you, I guess, down the road. Have a happy Thanksgiving in advance.
Hey, boys, I'm just going to say, without Tim, this actually was really fun today. I'm not going to lie to you. You guys did a great job.
Hey, wow, without Tim, it was fun. Okay, thank you.
Better?
See?
Better.
Jackson, you carried the ship. Once again, thank you, buddy.
Always,
He
brother.
loves him some papers.
Yeah.
He does.
Thanks, Joey.
Joey Vitale checking in with us. Your home of the Blues, of course, 101. A lot of folks we're giving him the Brad Thompson label, saying except the Blues version because he's on the broadcast and it's a little positive.
I'll tell you one thing. I love both those gentlemen, Brad Thompson and Joey Vitale.
Too. Yeah.
If you were making drafting a quality roster to go to dinner with, Brad Thompson and Joey Vitale would be very high up on those
And
lists.
wouldn't it be weird if 2 guys who did the broadcast for the team just ripped them all the time? Do you see that anywhere, ever?
Michael Kay once or twice.
But he's known for that.
Yeah, he'll rip the
and
Yanks.
I think the Yankee ownership wants that.
Yeah, but that's a different fan base, different culture up there.
I saw Mike Shannon kind of get into it with Mike Matheny once because Shannon's this team terrible. They didn't play any defense. He went on a rant one night about how
Shannon's underrated.
How fundamentally bad they were. And then the next day I saw him and Matheny, and they were friends. I think before Matheny even played here because Matheny lived here, and they're all like big hunting and fishing and all whatever. But they had a long time, and I could see the Moon Man flailing his arms, kind of explaining just how crappy they were. Like, you think he cared?
I don't expect he'd back down from many of his takes.
No. Remember when Hungo nuked Molina early in his career for not running hard to first?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the skipper got sideways with Hungo. Because that was the wrong take, right? Yeah. He's as fast as he can, man. He's just not fleet of foot. Like, well, no, he stopped. He stopped in the batter's box. Al also nuked when they signed Jaime Garcia. They redid his contract. And that night on the broadcast, like the Cat or somebody said, and Jaime gets a new deal. It's 4 years. And then they went upstairs, and Al goes, I don't understand. You didn't need to do that. That's what we need more of. Mm-hmm. But we've got pizza recommendations instead. I've never heard of any of these places. Hopskeller, Nettie's. What was the other one?
Nikki Slices. That's a new place on the hill.
And Detroit style.
It's like
Detroit style.
So you're at Jets Pizza?
Yeah, it's like a thicker.
Like you get like 8 pieces, and it's like
it's rectangle.
It's rectangular. And they're bigger, thicker pieces. It's short of deep dish, but obviously thicker. It's like a really thick Emos, is how I describe it. Like the crust is real thick. You're looking at me like I have a 4th head.
No, I don't think I've ever had that.
I think you like it.
Have.
You like any
It sounds
pizza.
like the kind of pizza you get in school in 5th grade.
not
Here's
like
a square chunk of pizza that's mostly bread. Go.
No, it's crispy as hell. It's pretty good.
Crispy edges.
Yeah,
But
really
I would
crispy
I would
edges.
say if when you were a kid and pan crust came out, the
right.
pan,
Very similar.
When Pizza Hut did the pan crust, ooh, that's kind of what the
Yeah.
vibe, I would say.
Doug said like school pizza.
Cafeteria
That
pizza.
was good. When I was a kid, that rectangular piece of pizza, sign me up.
Why would the shape of it matter to you?
It's square beyond compare.
That didn't really answer the question.
Not at all.
I don't care what shape you cut the pizza in.
All right, well, I'm going to cut you a triangle.
And it's called
Okay, thank
Nicky
you.
Slices.
Yeah, that place is on the hill.
That's on the hill. Do they only sell slices?
I don't know. I've never been.
Yeah, buddy. Iggy could give us a full report.
Yeah, he gave us a
except he's
rundown.
having coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah.
And he went out of his way to call into us. It almost felt like we put him out a little bit to take the call. Gobble Bowl is coming up Saturday. Mizzou at Oklahoma Saturday. We'll talk to Gabe DeArmond at 9 o'clock. Beau Pribula now with a possibility that he is going to be playing.
I'm curious where Gabe is on that.
I can't imagine anything that would make me barf faster than drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes at the same time.
Well, I don't think puking would be the problem. I think it'd be the other
You wouldn't make
direction.
a good supermodel, would you, Doug?
No.
That just sounds like the worst possible combination.
That's how America runs on that.
Yeah, America loves coffee. I can't stand it.
No.
Can't stand it.
Doug, here you go. Crispy edges, focaccia-like crust, cheese on the edges, describing Detroit-style pizza. Papers, let's go there today.
All right.
Maybe you know what you do? You feed a cold.
Yeah.
And I don't have a cold, but
Starve
I'll
with
feed
fever.
it just in case I was
Pizza
going to get
yeah,
a cold.
preemptive.
Just
Feed
in
everything.
case.
That's a good rule.
No, you starve a cough, right? Starve a cough, feed a cold.
I don't know what you do. I'd feed everything.
If it's gray, turn away.
Right,
If it's white,
the bear
good
talk.
night.
Yeah.
You learn a lot on
Where
this
are the
show.
Pelicans?
There are a lot of texts earlier saying, please, no more scientific talk without the wisdom of Iggy and the Plowhawks.
Red sky in the morning, sailor take warning. Red sky at night, sailor's delight.
Yeah.
Wow, that is folksy. This Vaughn, this guy is folksy. It's the Morning After, brought to you by Brian Krupin.
Has your car's warranty expired or about to expire? When cars break, it is always a surprise. Fixing cars isn't something most people can do in their backyard anymore. Dealership labor rates average nearly $200 an hour. The average repair costs over $1,500, while major repairs can run $3,000 to $5,000. With Atlas coverage, you simply hand over your ID card, not a blank check. Atlas is your roadmap to vehicle protection, and you can learn more about it at atlasvehiclepro.com. And if customers call and let them know they are a TMA listener, you will get $400 off your quote. Give them a call at 314-720-5990. That's 314-720-5990. It's Atlas Vehicle Pro. Online at atlasvehiclepro.com.
Hey, guys, I'm 40 minutes behind. I'm on the YouTube stream. Does the show get better after Herb's call? Or do more of Jackson's friends with some cute little pet names call in? Should I just skip ahead and listen live? Text back so I know what to do. Thanks. That's from the KC Gray Sexual.
Stop this snarkiness.
Oh.
I won't have it.
No.
You got to commit. Commit to the whole show. Lock in. That's what we're doing here. Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne, Chairman Kurd, Jackson Burkett with you. Gabe DeArmond coming up at the top of the hour, talking all things Mizzou. Right now we're in pre-Gabe. That's what the Stiefel dossier tells us, pre-Gabe, and that usually means it's time for the drops of the week.
Morning After. Drops of the week.
Yeah, you gotta drop it like a hot dog.
It's a wonderful drop.
Indeed it is.
Put that off. Put that off. Put that off. Put that off.
Flip that off.
Are we supposed to be a soccer town here? That's what everyone says.
Bundesliga, second Bundesliga.
Can you mention the wind? I mean, you're in the middle of it. Is it blowing out there?
Oh, wow, he's so big.
This is huge.
Oh, you're so massive.
Is this Lexington Steel?
Oh, hold it!
You lay it on me, Gabe.
And even though I know the river is wide, I walk down every evening and I stand on the shore.
Troy's got that bod.
I have no information from the Kiffin camp, the Ole Miss camp, any agents. I have no information whatsoever. But I smell a setup.
Now, I don't know the circumstances at all, but they don't matter, and I'm going to tell you why.
I love you, Doug.
I'm a man. Don't accuse me of stroking anybody.
God, you're beautiful.
Viva la Strode!
Yeah, he was like a Banny Rooster.
Lick my doggy.
Oh, all right.
That was Drops of the Week.
It's violent.
Get it.
I like what Papers did because he took drops from this week and then matched them with historic drops that kind of fit.
I try to get the drops to at least a minute every week, and sometimes if it's on me, I'm not writing down as many clippable off moments, then sometimes I'll fill it with some classic drops or some other things.
Clippable off moments.
Yeah.
But what you did, the classic drops that you weaved in kind of matched what was said this week on the show. So to that we say, well done, Papers.
Well, by and large, a drop is like at most a second long. So it's hard to kind of get to a minute sometimes.
Yeah. But it does. It seriously, my head does kind of like a Rolodex of the week. Like, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. That's the guy that called about soccer. And I'm like, SLU soccer, by the way, Doug. A thriller last night. Double overtime NCAA tournament. A freshman, Jack DeMaria, tied the game 89th minute, won the game 105th or 6th minute. There's your SLU Billikens update in case Chris May is listening and gives us basketball tickets down the road. So we got to say, SLU winning their NCAA tournament game. They move on to play Indiana on Sunday, Doug. That's a rematch from earlier in the year. But I thought of that when I heard Carpenter Matt's call. He was all about soccer.
Yeah.
And he was mad at us.
Yeah. Well, over at Design Air Heating and Cooling, they're all about keeping you warm, keeping you cool in the summer, and keeping you warm in the winter. That's right. That's what they do over there, and Tim's going to tell us about Design Air.
Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. Martin is a client. Doug is a client. I'm a client, and I recommend you become a client as well. Get your furnace tuned up for the cold weather months in the St. Louis area. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. Get that furnace tuned up, and you know you are ready to go for the cold weather months. Design Air is the longest running sponsor on TMA, and Seth Goldcamp has come up with the most brilliant promotion and the largest promotion in the 21-year history of this show. Coming up in January, beginning on January 5th and running through the end of the month, the winner of the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Month standings will receive a $10,000 HVAC system from Design Air Heating and Cooling. That's a Design Air Heating and Cooling HVAC system and installation for winning the Email of the Month. It's Design Air, the longest running sponsor on TMA, online at designairservice.com.
And because Herb called in earlier, I was looking up famous Herbs. There's not a lot. Herb Albert, who was just in town. The team on arrest, Herb Brooks.
Herb Ragland, former Blue.
Former Blue. Was he number 25? Herbert Hoover, but that's not, nobody called him Herb.
George Herbert Walker Bush.
Yeah, middle name. Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Fully Loaded.
Sorry?
Yeah, Herb Jones, aforementioned.
And then Herb in New York.
Yeah.
Herb in New York. There you go.
A lot of Herberts.
Herb, call in. Not from New York.
It's kind of an old name for maybe
old school. I like
70
that.
or 80
Herb
years
Humphreys,
ago.
as mentioned by Minute Bowl Eligible earlier, as mentioned, Mizzou Talk next. It's Gabe DeArmond with Power Mizzou. Kind of fun to be talking about Schnucks with a Schnucks donut right here in front of me. Brought the boys some donuts. Of course, Doug, the health nut, first to have one. The other boys have not had them yet. Yeah, Doug dug right in. But the point is, we're talking about Thanksgiving, and Schnucks still has a great deal going on with those turkeys. You can buy them for the price that you paid 15 years ago. Prices in 2010 were 57 cents per pound. You may not know that, but they keep track of this. And they've made sure to roll back the prices. So you can get a Schnucks frozen turkey for just 57 cents per pound. That is good through next Wednesday, the 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. To get the deal, you just need to make a $25 purchase, not including the price of the turkey. Limit one per customer. Prices vary by store. And, of course, they'll also have savings, other items throughout the store, things you love to serve at Thanksgiving. Leading up to the holiday, make sure to check your weekly ads so you don't miss out on any of the deals. Prices rolled back to 2010 for your Thanksgiving meal. You'll have the centerpiece, able to serve your whole family no matter how many guests you have coming over. Great savings going on for your Thanksgiving meal up until the 26th. Get that special on the turkey. This Thanksgiving, head to Schnucks for all your feast essentials.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. In addition to the Blues and Islanders game, which is a 2:30 puck drop here on 101 ESPN tomorrow, a little college football night game action with Florida taking on Tennessee. Pregame will start at 6 p.m. for that. Kickoff at 6:30 on Saturday, right here on 101 ESPN. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
There is this place which I live in, which is called service. It is called service. Surrey is where I live. Surrey is where I live. Oh,
26 hours, a little less. Game time, Norman, Oklahoma. Mizzou and the Sooners, shades of the big, what was it before the Big 8? Was it the Big 6?
I think that's right, yeah.
Okay.
You're going way back now.
Well, I'm just for the folks who have been following it for a long time. Gabe DeArmond, Power Mizzou, on the line with us on this Friday. Gabe, how are you fired up? You ready for this?
I've been looking forward to this all week. Yeah.
That didn't sound.
You didn't believe it, Doug?
No. Well,
I'll try harder next time.
No, that's fine. Oh, now the interesting.
I still won't mean it. I'll just try.
Just fake it for us. Well, now Tuesday, we talked on Monday, and we knew that on Tuesday, that's sort of media day for Mizzou, and Coach Drinkwitz will make his address, and you were going to ask him about the coaching carousel, and then he addressed it in his opening comments. Do you think, and you have folks down there, I'm sure, behind the scenes you're talking to, do you think he did that preemptively because he knew it was going to come up?
Yeah, I think he knew it was coming. I mean, he referenced a post on our message board that said he was having team meetings saying he was leaving. So, look, I'm not saying Drink reads our message board, but I'm saying somebody tells him what's there.
You lay it on the game.
So, yeah, I'm sure he knew it was coming. I mean, he's not dumb. It was time. It needed to be asked.
And do you think all of this Fortune 500, that was your follow-up. We did have the lay it on me, Gabe. That's now a staple on this show because that was the first question. Lay it on me, Gabe, as if he knew this was your topic, your theme. But about the Tom Hart mentioned during the broadcast, wanting to get more Fortune 500 companies in Missouri involved. Do you think there's any part of this where he is just, while all the speculation is out there, going to use that leverage to try and beef up the NIL money?
For sure, but what I can't figure out is he's going to have to make a decision before that's done. Like, Fortune 500 CEOs are not calling Laird Veach this week and going, hey, man, like, you guys haven't talked to us about this all. We hadn't even thought about it, but here's like millions of dollars. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is going to have to, if it comes to the point, and let's be clear, he might not have to make a decision. He might not have other options in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. But if he does have to make a decision, he's going to have to make it on faith. Either he thinks Missouri can get this done and get what he needs, or he doesn't. But I don't think, like, let's say their budget is, I don't know, $20 million for next year's team today. It's not going to be $30 million in 9 days. I mean, he's either going to have to believe they can get this done or he thinks they can't.
When you asked him the question about his potential leaving, what did you come away with that? Did it change your opinion one way or the other about what he might do?
No. I mean, I think whatever you thought on Tuesday morning is what you thought on Tuesday afternoon. Because, look, fans will hear that and go, oh, he said he loves Mizzou. That's awesome. Cool. But he also didn't say he's definitely staying. And even if he had said he's definitely staying, Nick Saban said he wasn't going to Alabama. Roy Williams said he wasn't going to North Carolina. I mean, saying it is fine, and I do think, like, saying it matters a little bit. Like, let's say Brent Key takes another job. The first paragraph or two of every story is going to be, 3 weeks ago, Brent Key was asked about other jobs, and he said, cut me open and see what colors I bleed, and then he left. So Drink didn't say anything that painted himself into a corner, and logically what that tells me is he doesn't know. he doesn't know I don't think there's any world in which he knows he's leaving today. But I think it's pretty obvious he doesn't know for sure he's staying either. He might have an idea. He might even be leaning pretty heavily one direction or the other, but I don't think he knows.
And do you think it's most likely that his agent or representation is saying, hey, Penn State remains interested, Auburn's called a couple of times, but there's nothing concrete to actually grab onto?
Yeah, I don't think there's at this point, offers are, because you guys know, I mean, only one guy's ever offered the job, right? It's kind of like, do you like me and do you want to play at recess? Check yes or no. And if they say no, then you never really asked them. But I don't think he has an offer that like he could accept this morning. Right. I think LSU, Florida, and Auburn all depend very much on what Lane Kiffin does, and as does Ole Miss at this point. So you're talking about a quarter of the SEC is waiting to see what happens with Lane Kiffin before they can really make a move. Because, like, even though he's not taking the Auburn job, if Lane goes to LSU, John Summerall's in play at Ole Miss, and John Summerall's a major candidate at Auburn. So I don't think they can make a move before Lane decides what he's doing. He's supposed to meet with the Ole Miss AD this morning. Penn State is the wild card here. I don't think anybody knows what they're going to do. I mean, Penn State message boards and media right now are trying to sell this idea that Kalen DeBoer is in play, and I just no part of me can believe that.
If Drinkwitz should leave, Mizzou would be a pretty attractive job for someone else, though, wouldn't it? They wouldn't have trouble getting a big-name guy.
I mean, it would be a good job. I don't think they can get a sitting SEC head coach and probably not a sitting Big Ten head coach. But I don't think there's any reason they couldn't make calls to guys in the Big 12 and the ACC. Now maybe, hey, there's a group of five guy they like better, or even a coordinator they like better, and that's fine. I wouldn't necessarily be against that. But I think you can take some big swings and at least make a couple calls and see what the response is if you need to.
Level of surprise that Beau Pribula is back in play. Apparently could even play Saturday in Norman. Game time decision. Didn't you get the sense out of Vandy the way it seemed awfully doom and gloom? But this is either he's a remarkable, he's been remarkable in his recovery, or maybe it was overstated back then. What's your read on the QB?
Yeah, I mean, level of surprise after last Saturday is not very high. I thought after last Saturday, hey, he's going to play against Oklahoma. But level of surprise when you go back to the injury, I'm stunned. I mean, I thought we had not just seen Beau's last snap of the season. I was fairly convinced we'd seen Beau's last snap at Missouri at that point when he was taken off on the cart. And I mean, it seemed grim. Now they did come out, it very quickly shifted from, the worst case scenario to, well, it's not impossible that he comes back this season. But like, even after that report came out, I checked with somebody in the program and said, could he play again this year? And the response was, I guess so, but it wasn't like optimistic. So I think he certainly made a recovery faster than was expected, but I also think probably, there were no broken bones, and I think the actual damage was probably a little bit less significant than they thought at first. But I don't tend to be incredibly tough. When I hear dislocated ankle, I'm not thinking 3 weeks later the kid might be on the football field.
If he's iffy, you think they'll put him in there? I mean, what do they have to save him for now? Yeah, obviously you don't want to hurt worse. But
yeah, I mean, you save him for his sake. I think it really comes down to, can this get worse? If he goes out there, is he in danger of hurting this again or more significantly? I think it has to be a medical decision. It has to be the doctor saying either he can play or can't play. And then if they say he can play, then you ask Beau. And I'm almost certain Beau would say, yeah, I'm good. From everything I heard, he wanted to play last week. So if the doctors clear him, I fully expect him to play and probably start tomorrow. I mean, Drink said on Tuesday, if he's healthy, he's our starter.
According to ESPN, he has been cleared medically to play. So
in that case, then I would be, unless he practices today and they just look at him and say, man, he's not good enough. But I think part of the reason I assumed he was done for the year was not only that the injury looked that way, but also I just thought, hey, Matt Zoller is going to get in there and do enough, because it's not like the offense was great for Beau's last 3 weeks as the starter. So I thought Zollers would get in there and do enough that they said, yeah, hey, this is the guy the rest of the year. But the truth is he hasn't. He's thrown for 189 yards in 2 weeks. He has done nothing to tell you that the offense is better off or even as good with him as it is with Beau.
And every NIL deal is 1 year, right? Year to year. So if he plays well or plays poorly, so Pribula, he gets his million or whatever the reported or whatever the number is in the end, that ends after this year. And they literally just sit back down again and decide what's next year's rate?
No, the revenue sharing deals, Drink talked about this some earlier this week. They've signed a lot of guys to 2-year deals. Now, it was because I reported this back before the season started. Missouri fans were just convinced that Drew Aller was going to, when he left Penn State, Beau was going to go back to Penn State. And I said back in the summer, look, guys, I've talked to people. There are financial consequences if that happens. It's not impossible, but he's going to lose money or give up money because he's been signed to a 2-year deal. Now, the interesting part of that is, what if Eli Drinkwitz leaves? Can you hold a kid to that deal? I don't really know how that would work. But Drink said earlier this week, they got some money back from other teams from some of the guys that left last year. So it sounds kind of like coaching contracts to me where, yeah, you can leave, but there are financial consequences to doing it, which then gets into the conversation of how exactly are we saying these kids aren't employees at this point? But that's a whole nother conversation.
What kind of chance would you give Mizzou of going down to Oklahoma and getting the upset there?
Not great, but I feel better about their chances to win this one than I did A&M. Oklahoma they're very good defensively, but unless you just turn the ball over a bunch, they're not going to run away and hide from you on offense. Their offense has been shaky most of the year. I think the first one to 20 points has to feel pretty good about their chances. If Missouri can get the running game going a little bit, if Beau can be a threat with his legs, and if the defense can play the way it has played most of the year, I think they'll be in the game. It's just a matter of, are you finally going to make that one play that makes the difference?
And if they win, we were having this discussion the other day on the show, is it the biggest win of Drinkwitz's Mizzou career? And the only counter, I guess, is the Ohio State, but it's a bowl game because so many of these big ones didn't quite materialize. Where would you be with that debate?
It's in the conversation for sure. I think Tennessee in 2023, the 36-7 game where Cody Schrader had 900 yards of total offense. I think that one gets skipped over a little bit. Kansas State was number 15 when they came here, and that's the one that kind of started the whole thing. But rankings-wise, yeah, this would be as good as he's had. I think Ohio State was 7, Oklahoma's 8. And it's Oklahoma, and it would be Missouri's first win in 59 years. Now, there will be, I think, a small crowd that goes, well, who cares? The pressure was off. They're not making the playoff. This one doesn't count. If you want to not count them, you can always find a reason to not count them. But, yeah, this would be absolutely, if not number one, certainly one of his 3 best wins here.
Now, you say Mizzou's not making the playoffs. They're 22nd now. If they beat Oklahoma, and if 8 or 9 other schools in front of them lose a game,
right,
we could be right there on the bubble.
That's the thing. There's some percentage of chance, but the percentage is low enough that I deem it not worth my energy to figure it out at this point.
And Drinkwitz addressing, everything on Tuesday, and he said, last week, daggum, all y'all wanted me out here because I couldn't win the big game. Have you ever had a coach, basketball or football, who's been more in tune with either social media or narratives or who said what than Drinkwitz?
No. He's... it is funny because he always says Twitter ain't real, but, man, he knows what's on there. Even, like I said, down to knowing what's on our message board. And that's fine. Whatever. You got to do it the way you do it. And I do think, there are a lot of coaches who it's so weird that these guys are at the height of their profession. They're making millions and millions of dollars, and you see them clapping back at people that just don't matter. I don't matter, right? But more than that, like, what are we doing responding to fans that have 64 followers on Twitter or retweeting a fan of some other program? It could not matter less, but Drink's far from the only guy that knows of it. And maybe there's a little bit of the Michael Jordan, I took that personal thing there, like whatever, you got to find motivation from anywhere you can. But it is really interesting that, these guys have reached basically the top level they can reach. And like, they're just paying, they preach to their teams, block out the noise and don't pay attention. And so many of them absolutely, obviously don't do it.
And what was the message board? So for those who missed it, and he referenced it, that he had a team meeting to say, hey, I'm out of here?
Yeah, it was like 2 days before the Mississippi State game, there was a post on our board that said, look, I talked to somebody that said there was just a team meeting, and he told the team he's going to LSU. And so, I had to send somebody a message and say, look, I'm sorry, but I got to make sure this is not true. And they said there have been no team meetings here. And so that was quickly, at least in my mind, dispel. I mean, look, Eli might leave. He's not going to leave in the regular season. Like, nothing's going to happen until at the earliest next Sunday. He's not going to leave this team in the middle of the season. And, people say, well, what about Lane Kiffin? Well, Lane Kiffin's in a different situation. Lane Kiffin's season could last until January 19th. Eli's is over next Saturday. Like, we are 8 days away from the part of the season that matters being over. And then whatever is going to happen happens. But, so you can wait till next Sunday or next Monday or Tuesday, whatever. But Lane Kiffin can't really wait till January 20th.
As far as accessibility to the media and the way he treats folks like you, how would you rate Drinkwitz compared to Barry Odom and Gary Pinkel before him?
Oh, I love covering Drinkwitz. He's great. I mean, he'll say things that make for good stories that you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, he won't answer every question, but for the most part, he knows what's coming and he respects it. And as long as you do the job the right way, I don't think he really has a problem with it. I've got no issue with covering Eli. He's been good to deal with, I think, and he's a much more fun press conference than Pinkel or Odom was.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, he's not boring, even if I would say, oh, gosh, don't worry about a college reporter who picked the other team to win. Don't worry about some of that stuff you reference on social media. Don't keep receipts on all of it. Even though some of that I could live without, he's not boring. He's good copy, and that's that's part of the game right now, is be entertaining.
Yeah, we say all the time, right? Like, geez, these coaches are so boring. But then when they do something that's not boring, we say, well, you can't do that. I mean, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, and in the bigger picture, he's also managed to sell out the stadium like 20 times in a row and has Mizzou football relevant again, whether he's won a huge game or not.
Yeah, and look, a lot of people have said in the last couple of weeks, like, is it really that big a deal if he leaves? I mean, yeah, it kind of is. Like, not that Missouri couldn't hire somebody good. Maybe they even hire somebody better. But he has done, I mean, he's like a half step behind what Pinkel did here. He's got this program right in that same kind of conversation. Has not broken through to be an elite team, but like, he has a chance to do things that have never been done here. He has done as good a job as anybody since I've been alive. And again, you can argue if he's even with Pinkel or a step behind Pinkel, but it isn't more than a step at this point. So absolutely, you would much rather hang on to that guy than not.
Gabe DeArmond, Power Mizzou, for all things Mizzou. Get your subscriptions online. And is the dashing Cody making the trip to Norman?
He is driving down today. He will be live in Norman, Oklahoma tomorrow.
And it's an earlier game, which means an earlier post game. So crack open that black and tan Yingling at about, let's see, it's 2:30.
2:30?
Maybe, yeah, I was going to say 3 o'clock-ish, maybe by the post game to get him up in the post game there at Boomer Sooner and break it all down.
Yeah, I mean, road games, I start pretty much right after because I don't have to go to the press conference. I just have to go upstairs. So.
All right, Gabe, we'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, then.
Gabe DeArmond, Power Mizzou. Lay it on me, Gabe, from Coach Drink right after the swig of Diet Coke and then just kind of a little mini burp.
I agree with him. Those who are doubters and say, well, we'll just get someone better than Drinkwitz. You never know. You never know the next guy coming in if he's going to just be a total disaster or not.
Right.
Much better off to hang on to the guy who's got you in the conversation.
The devil you do know is better than the devil you don't.
Oh, I think someone said that once. Yeah.
I didn't mention also big Missouri Tiger basketball win last night against the hated
Well,
South
we're kind of
Dakota
locked in on
Coyotes.
football right now. I know, you're sweet, sweet Coyotes, but we...
sweet
How about your guy, Javon Porter, was 9 of 9 from the field?
Eat my words is what he said to me. He said,
Because
"Eat your
you're not a
words,
big
Jackson."
Porter guy.
His earlier games this year he struggled a little bit, but he's, I think, felt the heat of guys getting healthy behind him that he knows will probably take his minutes. So he said, how about I'll shoot 9 for 9 and get 12 boards on top of that.
I would say 6 games in, the one I'm most surprised because I didn't know Jaden Stone. I didn't know.
Ball player. I told you that before the season.
Did you?
Yes.
Find that clip.
I told you before the season. You told me, what should I, because you were interviewing somebody, and you said, who should I find?
I think we had Gates in town.
And I said, Jaden Stone from Detroit Mercy, Australian kid. He's a ball player.
That's why Jackson has great takes.
Yeah,
he likes our ball club.
I was high on Jaden Stone before even the ball was even tipped up.
Your Billikens are playing tonight. They've got that IUPFW thing.
No, it's Purdue-Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's in Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne.
IUPUI.
That's different.
That is no longer in existence, I don't believe.
Yeah, that's Indiana University.
This is Purdue, Fort Wayne?
This is Purdue, Fort Wayne.
So I was getting those two. I was conflating two schools.
IUPUI was a school in Indianapolis that I don't believe is still in existence, but I could be.
This is Purdue, Fort Wayne.
Yeah, it just closed. IUPUI just shut
What
down.
is Purdue has a branch in Fort Wayne?
I guess.
Nonetheless, Slew's played at 7 o'clock tonight. Mizzou plays at 11. I think the Illini are up at the old Madtown. A little nighttime game. Jump around at Camp Randall. You ever been there, Doug? Camp Randall in Madison, Wisconsin?
I have not.
That's a great
I was at
stadium.
Madison for a basketball game once, but not football.
Jump around. What time is that kickoff? I'm sorry.
I think it's like 6:30.
That it'll be packed.
I believe.
They say that about Wisconsin, that in the first half, sometimes if it's an 11 a.m. kick, some of the student body in Madison isn't quite ready yet.
There's a lot of bars right now. It's kind of tucked into a neighborhood. It's interesting.
It's
Because
right on a lake, right? The whole school's on a lake.
The city is in an isthmus. Hard to say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's centered around all kinds of water, but the actual stadium is a little bit more. It's not. The stadium's not on the water, not like the Huskies of Washington.
Yeah.
But there's houses, and then there's a couple bars. It almost, in a weird way, kind of has like this Wrigley feel, where you're just Wrigley Field feel, where you're driving down the street and like, oh wow, giant stadium, right there. 6:30 is the kickoff for your.
Did you ever
Fighting
go into one of
Illini.
those bars by the stadium and drink yourself stupid?
When I worked in Madison for 2 years, and we may have probably.
Yeah,
I was 26.
A little watering hole.
Yeah. And you felt old because it was a college town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you're 26, 27 papers age.
Yeah.
But everybody's 19, 20, 21.
And they looked at you like you were old,
And
too.
you felt like the oldest person on the planet. And now you're looking back at, I was 27.
How old is too old to go to like a college bar like that? You think once you hit 30?
Chris Rock has a
that's
whole
way too old.
Chris Rock has a whole thing about the old. You don't want to be the old guy at the bar.
No, you definitely don't.
The college bar, I think once you graduate, it's time to move on.
Like a
and
true
turn that
college
over
bar.
to the college people.
Yeah, but like what if you're back in town for a football game or something?
If you're an alumna,
like a Harpo's or something, you can dash in and out
before
of
a
there.
game.
But you wouldn't want to hang out there on Thursday night or something.
Correct. Okay.
Just you with the other college kids.
Non-game days.
Yeah.
The big bar that everybody goes to for the big game. You can't be 40 or 50 and just hanging out there during the week.
Yeah, you don't want to be a bar fly at a college bar.
But apparently parents go to games now with their kids. That's a bigger thing. Or like hang out on their college bar. I think we talked
SVP
about it.
talked about that on his podcast. He's like, let the kids have their fun. You don't need to go
Do you
up every
want to be
weekend.
there when your kids are doing Jello shots or whatever they do?
Well,
Like,
they have a
no.
lot of parents' days, though.
Yeah. Fraternities have parents'
You kind of
weekend.
got to do it that weekend.
But not
That's
on.
different,
But
yeah.
Doug, not on the regular, right? You
No,
don't just be
not
going
every
over.
week.
Hey, do we have tickets this week? Hey, what sororities having everybody over?
Yeah, and they don't want you there either.
No.
Right.
They'll put up with it once a season.
Yeah, right. Once a semester, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you'll bring money or something.
If there's money being brought.
And after you give them the money, go away. That's what they're thinking. You're crimping my style.
Yeah.
All right, we covered a lot of ground. Still more to get to, including the email of the day, which We have Nikki Slices is in the band Motley Crue, I believe, and we've got tickets to Motley Crue. That's part of the prize for email of the day. What are the standings in that paper, actually? Because
I got you right now.
What's the date today? The 21st.
Los Ween has 2 wins. Buck Swope and TT Terry TT Boy also with 2 wins. Shrewsbury Butter Squirrel, The Need for Seed, Kevin Miller, Self-Made Stay at Home Will Do Mom, Shooter McGavin, Vincent at Piercing Pagoda, and then the major yesterday. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
So what I'm seeing is it's wide open.
I would say.
In terms of if you want to win a college championship, it's wide open.
Yeah.
It's all there for you. Email of the day, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Powered by Design Air, which I want to tell you, these folks are great. It was a week ago. They were out to the house. We needed to get a new furnace, and they came out, did the install, and it takes all day. But when they're done, they give you a little walkthrough on how everything works. Really great at explaining it. Just love the employees at Design Air. Everything about it, from their friendliness, but also the professionalism. And Seth is always, I think, prided himself on having great employees. You can tell the difference when they come to your home. Absolutely true professionals. Even in the morning, you get a text alert that they're on their way, and there's a picture. Doug, a picture of the handsome repairman.
Oh, which ones you get?
We had, remember I
Rugged
said,
Joe?
the Rugged Joe.
Oh, that's right.
And his colleague Joe and Joey were there for all day last Friday. Did a great job. Design Air, a company you can count on today, tomorrow, down the road. They've been around for more than a century. Family-owned, St. Louis-based. Get online, designairservice.com. Set up your appointment for a furnace tune-up before winter truly kicks in. I think we're going to have a dry weekend, maybe about 60 or so over the weekend. But soon, it'll get really cold. Make sure everything's working properly. Contact our friends at Design Air Service. Heating, cooling, all your heating, cooling needs, one spot, designairservice.com. It is TMA, brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. Our guy, Paul Thomas Anderson, the movie that's out. Is it at theaters right now? I watched it only online, Apple.
Well, it was in theaters
a while ago.
September.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
was
on
it a
Apple
hit?
now. Big time.
Okay.
Well, box office wise, there was much conjecture because it was really, really expensive. But critically, couldn't have done better.
Another Day, Another Battle?
One battle after another.
God, I cannot get the name right. I just cannot.
OBAA.
I was at the live theater last night.
Oh, were you?
Performance of Grease.
How was that?
It was at Kirkwood Community Center. It was high school kids doing it, and it was just fantastic.
Love that.
I'm so impressed that people that age, where it's not their whole life, it's not their job, but they could remember an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of lyrics and dance moves and just nonstop.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
And they were high school age, and some even younger than that, and they were just incredible.
And those songs are just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was all.
But doesn't it make you a little more encouraged too about the kids today that they can put their phone down and be committed to that day after day after day,
Those
staying
theater
after
kids
school?
are passionate, man.
Just the poise it takes to stand there in a crowded theater like that and belt out some song live. That takes some guts.
Absolutely.
And some talent.
Yeah.
I've not been to that Kirkwood Theater. It looks beautiful. That's the
this
new
is
one?
a different one.
Are you at the school theater?
We were at the community center theater. There's one at the community center where the pool is and all that.
Okay.
Kirkwood Park.
Oh,
and then there's one downtown.
That's what I'm thinking of. The brand new, kind of by the post office.
Yes, that's a gorgeous place too. Yeah, that's really nice.
One battle after another. Box office paper. So the budget was between 130 and 175 million. Budget.
Yeah.
Good gravy.
Yeah.
Box office, according to Wikipedia, which is never wrong. What do you think?
That's global.
That's Wikipedia.
It's like 190.
200.
Yeah.
But when you played Dirty Work, it reminded me in that movie.
Yeah.
The way he uses music, it's just the way it hits. There's almost like a pause, and then it boom.
He's incredible.
And it's like a scene shift or a dramatic shift in the movie.
Yeah.
The way it actually shifts you with it when that song, like Wings, Let Him In. That great song, little doorbell. Ding.
Yeah, that's what
Perfect.
I'd say that's like a big homage to Scorsese, who loves doing that.
Yes.
It's called a needle drop, where you put
needle drop. I like that.
Where you put on like a big song like that, like a very popular song at that point to kind of underscore your point. It's just good stuff.
What do you think so if his budget was that big?
Massive. Crazy thing.
Right, but so what would Steely Dan get, you think?
That's a good question.
Like $3 million or so, like $2 million, something
I never
crazy?
know, because apparently like the Stones and Led Zeppelin are also like really protective, and they charge a lot for their songs, but then like you'll see a Stones song or something pop up out of nowhere in some smaller budget thing. I
think they can, if they support, they could say, that sounds like a cool movie, good on you.
Right.
Here you
like
go.
It's mutually beneficial. If someone hears, what was that song in that movie? Oh, I like that song, and now I'm going to go listen to it. It helps the band. But I also think they're going to want to wet their beak a little bit.
Probably so. Doesn't Michael Jackson own all the Beatles music?
He did own he bought their entire catalog. Yeah. I don't know if he's...
So his estate would still get
but I think Apple might have bought a healthy portion of it.
I think there's windows like where you have it be, not forever. For example, when Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld, when they sold all the Seinfeld rights, they each got like $250 million, and then 10 or 15 years later, they sold it again. Yeah. So I think there's a certain window where you can get all the syndication or publication.
And you go
rights.
back to the 60s, and those guys got nothing.
Yes.
Right.
Like, I read something on Bob Denver, the guy who played Gilligan's Island. They got nothing for the residuals.
Really?
And it played for years all over the country. And he was so typecast in that role, he couldn't find another acting job after that.
But wasn't he also Dobie Gillis? Was that before?
Yeah, he was. No, he was Maynard G. Krebs. The show was Dobie Gillis.
Okay. Sorry. Jeez.
He played a hippie.
And every time he would try out they're like, where's that little floppy hat, buddy? And they just called him Little Buddy.
Yeah, couldn't get past that.
Guys, Doug is a Renaissance man. That's from Pele Blanco.
Renaissance
man. And then going to the theater.
Oh.
Warson Woods Wacko, however, says, not hard to memorize lyrics and dance moves, you old donkey, Doug.
No, well,
it is hard.
Challenge you to do it.
It's hard to do it and not make it sound like it's memorized.
It's fast-paced, and there's acting. There's a jillion lines in there. It's there all weekend, too. It's a fun thing to see if
very legitimate art.
Not do anything.
Doug Car Wash Dave misses you on Sports Final. That's right. I look to my right every night. Look to my left. There's no Doug.
It was Sports Sunday.
You were Sports
Sunday.
My mom will even say, I was watching Sports Plus tonight. I said, and she goes, your show. And I said, it's not the name of our show.
Somebody else's.
Mom, thanks. Thanks for tuning in. Doug, the Blues lost last night 3-2 in overtime. Spent a lot of time in the first hour talking about it. We had Joey Vitale in the 8 o'clock hour, which, of course, was brought to you by Fisher Window and Door Store. 8 o'clock hour sponsor. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, great sponsor of this show. Loves talking hockey, even if it's the Blues, frustrating as it is. 3-2 in overtime, had the 2-zip lead, and they lose. Over their last 16 games now, the Blues have won a total of 3 games. And if they go to overtime or a shootout, they lose. That's the math. They're 0-6 this year when a game is tied after regulation. I did see a text earlier saying, because it's 3-on-3, isn't that a better test of true talent? And maybe that's very telling that when it's 3-on-3, they can't win a game because you don't have enough elite talent.
Yeah, I'd say that's true. They had another game where they got no goals out of Buchnevich and Thomas and Kyrou and Holloway. Nothing. Got 2 from the defenseman, and that was it.
Braden Sheen had 8 shots on goal, led the team. But again, Blues lose that game. In overtime, they get a point. They keep getting points, but still buried in the standings. They'll play the Islanders on the Isle. That is tomorrow, and that game is right here on 101 ESPN. It's a 2:30 puck drop. Jackson, this is when you turn your head for an update and go, okay, pregame should be at 1:30.
Braden Sheen.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Do you feel like we're going to tune in some night to watch and they're going to score 7 goals and finally break out of this and say, okay? Or does it look like this is just not happening? There's no way that they've got the talent to do this. I think they've got to be better than what we've
They have
seen.
to. I think both things are true. We overestimated. We got a little excited based on the second half surge and everything. Wow. And, Hollywood played out of his mind. Everybody was just kind of had a heater at the same time. So we got a little carried away. But I also don't think they're the 29th best team, the 30th best team. The goaltending being terrible collectively at the beginning of the year didn't help.
No.
And now Bennington's been better. And Hofer last night had some huge stuff. They could have lost that game in regulation. He gave you a chance to win. So now all of a sudden the goaltending's better, but you're still not able to win games.
Yeah, still lost 4.
And I think because, Mizzou's season, on the letdown factor, Mizzou's season being a decent letdown. Cardinals, City. I mean, we talk more about the Blues because I think we're kind of counting on them to at least be a playoff contender.
Yeah, Missouri's win total before the season was 7.5. So
they're kind of right where if they lose to Oklahoma, which they are expected to, and then beat Arkansas, you'd be 8-4.
The season played out exactly how people would have thought.
It is funny because I predicted 8-4. But I'm kind of disappointed. But it's exactly what I thought they would do.
It seems like every year Mizzou's about 8-4. I know there's some exceptions, but it seems like as a program over time, they're about 8-4.
Yeah, I think once people saw the defense and how good they were, that's when I think expectations rose a little bit. And then Ahmad Hardy's prolific nature, I think, was included in that.
Is Iowa a good comp? Because Mizzou's kind of at this point now, and granted, they did win the 10, the 11 the last couple of years, so we can't say 8-4 every year, but that does kind of feel program-wise what their profile would be. I don't hear Iowa people getting up in arms, like Kirk Ferentz, we never break through.
Well, I think they're really unique because of the Kirk Ferentz thing, how long he's been there, and the style of football they play being more unique as the years go by. So I feel like they're a tough comp.
But I'm saying they feel okay with it.
How much time do you spend listening to Waterloo talk radio?
Well, I don't, Doug. Okay. Des Moines, call in.
They're Iowa City, right?
Yeah. But I know Waterloo's a funnier sounding name.
Yeah,
but I know
you're a comedy genius.
That's where Matt Lauer started. There was KWWL, Doug, and I applied for a job there. And the guy who ran Channel 5, Bill Bolster, who later started CNBC, he used to run the Waterloo station. And I got a tape to him at one point, or somebody knew him, and they said, just call him up. And he was like a big, I think it was when he was in St. Louis. And they patched me through. And I'm like, hey, Mr. Bolster, I'm friends with the McGarveys. They were, friends of yours in Waterloo. And he goes, yeah? I was kind of like Herb calling in the 8 o'clock hour. And I said, yeah, well, they said I should just call you about maybe being like a summer intern there at News Channel 5 and all that. Yeah, we have an internship program. I said, okay, thanks. Terrible phone call, terrible idea, but it was my friends. They were so excited because they knew him. Call him up. Years later, Mike Bush in the Bush Stadium press box. Martin, do you know Bill Bolster? Started CNBC. And I said, oh, yeah, I called you once. He said, oh, you did? He was a big, heavy, sick guy. Do you remember him at all?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, you called me? Really? What? I said, the McGar. Oh, I love the McGarveys from Waterloo. I said, yep. And he said, so you called me? And I said, yeah, and you were kind of a jerk.
And how do you take that?
He looked crestfallen. He said, oh, no. And Mike Bush was, well, that wasn't nice. No, he didn't say that.
It's not very hard to be nice to young people calling, trying to get into the business. It doesn't take a whole lot.
You know who's nice? Sponsor of the 9 o'clock hour, Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, longtime TMA and Tim McKernan Show podcast sponsor, and the sponsor of Jeremy Rutherford every Wednesday on TMA and our 9 o'clock hour as well. He is heavily invested in our shows, and I recommend you give him a call because you will feel better about your financial situation and life in general when you talk to somebody as kind as Mark Hanna. 314-889-0503, or you can go online at evergreen-ws.com. The purpose for having a financial advisor is so that you can have someone in your corner who can help you make good decisions to help you get toward your goals. That can be Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreen-ws.com. That's Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
How about this from the Brothers Times, Stephen? Off topic, but Martin Jackson, KG, as a Mizzou hater, I would like it on the record. I think Mizzou's going to win straight up this weekend. That's from Stephen Time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do SEC Pick'em here in the next segment.
Oh, okay.
But I just think Oklahoma's defense, especially their run defense, is really going to make it challenging
Forcing
for Missouri.
Mizzou to pass.
Yeah, obviously Missouri's defense is very stout, so I think you're going to see a defensive battle, and it just kind of depends on which quarterback I think can elevate. And if I had to bet John Mateer, who's looked a lot better the last few weeks, compared to either Beau Pribula back from an injury or Matt Zoller's,
How many times have we seen this movie where we think, well, here's Mizzou's chance to win that big one, and do they ever win that big one?
No, but right when you think they won't, maybe they will. A little optimism.
That's why I always pick them to lose. And people are like, God, you're such a wet blanket, such a sourpuss. I'm like, well, it's just based on what we've seen. If it is a big game, we'll find out what we're going to pick. We'll do that when we come back. It's TMA, brought to you by Brown and Crouppen.
TMA is brought to you by St. Louis-based Stifel. Stifel is a diversified global wealth management and investment banking company focused on building relationships that help individuals, families, and organizations pursue their financial goals. That iconic image of the old bull and the bear shows the dedication and spirit of each member of the Stifel firm. They are individually and collectively committed to using the forces of the market to benefit their clients. They are ranked #1 as a wealth management firm for employee advisor satisfaction 3 years in a row now. That's based on the results of J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Financial Advisor Satisfaction Study. Stifel gets it done for their clients. Whether you're saving for retirement, planning for the future, Stifel offers a comprehensive range of retirement planning services to help you save for your retirement years. Whether you are early in your career or actively contemplating retirement, a business owner or an individual, it's never too late to put a plan of action in place in order to prepare for the years when you will no longer be receiving a steady paycheck. Give Stifel a shout. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Morning After on 101 ESPN. Martin, Doug, Chairman Kurt, papers here till 11 o'clock. BK and Ferrario taking over at that point. Tim's back on Monday. Air Comfort Service text inbox, the Callier and Thompson phone lines that brought us Herb and Joey Vitale and Gabe DeArmond. Busy Friday here. Got a big sports weekend on deck. A lot of high school, Doug. Big high school state soccer. We've got semifinals out at Soccer Park in Fenton. Kind of a rainy day for that, but a lot of the high school football. Your alma mater. I was over there with Jeremy Macklin the other day. They're going down to Farmington.
Oh.
CBC, my alma mater, they're going down to Jackson. They call it the Pit. And Scott Pingle was telling me, I said, tell me why. He said, well, the stands are about 5 feet behind you on the sidelines.
Jackson's always got good teams.
Always
just
good.
a little north of Cape Girardeau.
Where are they playing that at? I'm sorry, you probably just said
in
it.
Jackson.
Okay.
Now, CBC went there 2 years ago and beat them, which is hard to do. But a lot of great football all weekend. 2 Fox will be all over it, of course. And then we've got our NFL slate. People always tweeting at. And by the way, whenever I say Twitter, I believe it's Eric in the Central West End who says that doesn't exist. I have a question, and I know it's X. Why is their website twitter.com, Doug? If you type it in, it's still twitter.com.
I think it just redirects you.
Can't go to, is there x.com?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There is x.com?
Sure. X.com.
That was available. Just X.
X.
No, it wasn't. He's owned it forever.
The big question is, why would he even change it? It had become such a normal word in our language. I know he bought it and wanted to change something, but he should have just kept it as Twitter.
Seems a bit of an ego thing, if you ask me.
If he had called it Musk or something, I would say, now that's an ego thing, but X?
Well, it's to be like, I bought it, so I'm going to change it. Even though Twitter, like you just said, has been like collected, and people still call it Twitter. I know some people call it
Highway 40.
X. Yeah.
Gas bill is Laclede. Doug, do you pay your union electric bill?
Yeah.
I think Amber, that one finally, that took hold.
I sent it straight to Ready Kilowatt. Remember him?
Was that the little cartoonish guy?
Yeah, in the shape of like a lightning bolt with a big head.
I do remember that.
Just keep the names that we all use. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anyone
Twitter
would
it
have
is.
complained. Oh, no, you're keeping the name Twitter?
Are you going to rebrand to, what would be a good
Change
second?
my name?
Yeah, like Kelvin.
K-E-L.
It's like adding just a K to your middle name.
Start over?
Yeah. You have Douglas Elvin. Just go with Kelvin or Delvin. Or add an umlaut. We've talked about that before.
Oh, that's right. Doog.
Yeah, Doog.
Not bad.
Minute Bowl eligible. I still call this train wreck the morning grind.
Yeah.
See if you're really old school.
2.5 years of it, and then it sticks.
CBC 77-62 over Lafayette in football. That was last Friday.
77?
Yes.
That's a basketball score.
I know.
That'd be a high-scoring basketball score.
Or that much. Where was the defense?
I think there was some special teams breakdowns on top of it.
Like
It took
no
it was like
punting?
a high school game that took like 4 hours.
Oh, God.
They scored 77, and then the coach could still be hopping mad at his team because they gave up 62.
Yeah. God, that's
Good on Lafayette for scoring 62, but then still losing.
Imagine if you were on the push-up squad and your team scores 77. You just noodle on
Shit,
it.
pretty good shape. Out.
You want to pick some games?
Nonetheless,
You wanna
let's pick some games.
Yeah, pick some games.
Do.
So the SEC, this is a really weird slate.
Oh, is it?
Did you play music?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
Little night shift.
Okay.
You hear it now. It just underscores this. Really weird slate. There's only 2 ranked matchups across college football this week, one of them being Missouri-Oklahoma. So because of that, I've included 2 of the weird SEC games that are playing against nobodies, and then I've eliminated most of those, and I've also included USC-Oregon in this week's pick'em just because of the weird week. All right, let's start off with the big one. Early game, Missouri, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, 7.5-point favorite. It was 9.5. It has now moved down to 7.5.
I'm seeing 6.5 on ESPN.
Are you?
Yeah. You want to go 7.5? That's fine.
No, hold on. No, hold on there, Doug.
This Kelvin is a stickler.
Yeah. No, 6.5. Doug's right. Couldn't be sorrier, so it's dropped even more. All right, 6.5 is our number. Martin, let's start with you.
Well, on that A&M game, I said they would stay close. That didn't turn out.
No.
Oklahoma.
Martin is on
A lot on the line.
Yeah.
A lot on the line.
I want Mizzou to win so bad, but like I said, I've seen this movie play out many, many times. Mizzou goes down there, and it won't be very close, I don't think. I'll pick Oklahoma. I hope I'm wrong.
I'll take Missouri. I would have preferred that. I would have preferred it at 7.5 touchdown loss. Give me that hook, but
so you think you in your gut? I think if I'm reading this correctly, you kind of feel like they're going to play well but lose.
Yeah, no, I think if I'm taking this, I would also take it straight up. Now, I would expect to lose that money, but I think there's some decent value.
You're betting with your heart.
Sure. And I'm hoping for some magic.
We'll try out.
All right, the next biggest game that I know all of us are worried about is the Charlotte 49ers heading between the hedges to Athens, Georgia to take on the Bulldogs. That's a 43.5-point spread in favor of Georgia. You think Georgia covers 43.5? It should be known that Kirby Smart is 0-15 in games where he's favored by 38 points or more.
0-15 against the spread.
Against the spread,
Right,
yeah. He has a Franklin.
I'm sure that spreadsheet. Arbor Day was asking for some Don Imus mixed in with the picks. That's why I randomly was.
I always appreciate it.
Charlotte has had games this year where they've given up 48, 54, 49, and 54 and 42 points.
1-9.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, I'll be bold and take the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I don't think Georgia's going to lay it on. They don't need to.
So you'll take Charlotte
I'll take
cover?
Charlotte to cover.
Yeah.
I don't think Georgia will try to lay it on, but they won't be able to help it.
They accidentally scored 77.
I'll take Georgia.
Okay.
This won't be competitive.
The only other game I have where it's a massive spread one is Eastern Illinois as they take on Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Alabama, Doug, just a 50.5-point favorite.
50.5. Yikes.
50.5. The sports books think that the Alabama's going to win by 50 or 51 points.
I'll tell you something, brother. I'll tell you something right now. I like that Eastern Illinois squad.
Yeah, Tony Romo.
Mike Shanahan went there. Tony Romo. Brad Childress.
Eastern Illinois lost to Lindenwood 42-12.
Yeah. Sean Payton, another Eastern Illinois?
That's right.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a huge. I think I'll go with the traveling blood donor because I just think it's such a big
too
number.
many points.
Yeah.
Here's another one. It's just such a mismatch. I think Bama will win by even more than that, whether they want to or not.
Doug likes a good skull pounding.
I don't like it, but I just think that's probably what's coming.
My wonderful Aunt Georgianne and my wonderful uncle.
What's her name?
Georgianne.
Georgianne? That's my mom's name.
Really? Yeah,
yes.
we call her Gigi.
I've never heard of anyone else. I'm serious. My mom's name is because my grandfather, George, they named my mom Georgianne. Split the difference.
Sure.
I've never heard anyone else with that name.
Yeah, that's my aunt, my dad's sister.
Is that right?
Georgianne, we call her Jarge or Gigi.
You're going Jarge. You're putting a hard A on there.
Yeah, well, that's what we call her, Jarge.
Okay.
That's like a barge, Jarge?
It's like Highway Farty.
Georgianne. Her name is Georgianne.
Okay. Why are you calling Georgianne?
Because they're from Clay City, Illinois. That's how they would pronounce it.
That's how they say it over there.
Georgianne.
Daggum crud.
Her and my uncle Rodney both went to Eastern Illinois, and I'm taking the Panthers. Damn it. And my friend, a great ball player, Cornell Johnson from Ladue, he went to Eastern Illinois as well. I got a lot of love for Eastern Illinois.
Charleston. Kevin Duckworth. I had Sean Payton on the podcast a couple of years ago. He's friends with Chaser. And he had great stories about being the ball boy. And he said, oh, my God, Jim Hannafin smoking cigarettes and drinking. And he had all these great football Cardinals stories. So we'll stick with the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm riding
Kevin
with the Panthers.
Duckworth played for the Trailblazers. 7-2, maybe?
All right. Now we get into some real games. Arkansas in Austin against Texas. Texas is an 8.5-point favorite.
Didn't Arkansas, they've been covering a little bit lately.
They like to score. They don't play much defense, but they can score.
I feel like Petrino, he's got them.
They got to get somebody. They're going to clip somebody.
Texas is kind of done, even though they act like they're not done. So they may be a little bit half in, half out. It's in Austin.
Yes.
They've lost 8 in a row, Arkansas, after winning their first 2.
Yeah, well.
I'll go Texas.
Okay.
Art says.
I'll say Texas, too.
I will take Arkansas because I think they're going to get somebody.
You think they're going to win?
No. But I think they can cover that number. I think it'd be close till the end. It's shades of South Carolina at A&M last week.
Who said that? Arch?
Arch
said that? No.
Kentucky at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt 8.5-point favorite. Vanderbilt still only 2 losses, so they're very much alive for the CFP. Fighting for their lives against the Kentucky Wildcats in Nashville.
What's the spread?
8.5 in favor of Vanderbilt.
I don't really believe in Vandy. I don't know what to make of Kentucky.
Kentucky's been getting squashed over the last month.
They kept it close against Texas, but by and large have not done that.
I'll take Vandy.
I'll take Vandy also.
Yeah, I kind of want to take Kentucky because I've just been on the dogs so far this week, but I will also take the Vanderbilt Commodores. So I guess, as Tim would say, start betting up the Wildcats. Tennessee, the only road team favored in the SEC this week. Tennessee -4 at Florida.
Huh. Did you say Tennessee at Florida?
Yeah, -4. Kind of a weird number.
Kelvin, why did you go first?
I'll go Florida.
Dumbass. I'll go Tennessee.
Tennessee. I will also take the Volunteers of Tennessee, even though I
love Josh Heupel.
No, I proclaimed I wouldn't bet on them again after their performance against Oklahoma.
Did he hate his time at Mizzou? He seems to really have a... Yeah, it seemed like he...
I don't know.
He probably hated that he didn't get the job when it became open.
The final play for the weekend is the only other ranked matchup, as I mentioned. USC heads to Oregon. This is the College Game Day matchup in Eugene. Oregon, a 9.5-point favorite.
And they got to be careful here.
Oregon doesn't want to mess around.
They could probably lose and be okay, but
You don't want to mess with it.
And when you guys would say the aughts and zoo, I always thought you was in the aughts, like the 2000s.
No, yeah.
I didn't know the
Autzen.
field was called Autzen.
Autzen Stadium.
I didn't know that. I've learned stuff on this show.
It never rains on the Autzen Zoo.
Autzen Zoo. I'll take USC.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 9.5 is a lot of points. So I'll take USC also.
I will take Dan Lanning and the Oregon Duckmen.
Don't say Duckman.
that's what I'll play. And there you go. That's the SEC picks for the week.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, another Eastern Illinois.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Jimmy G.
How about Tony Romo?
Yep. Mentioned him. Tony Romo, Sean Payton, and then my aunt and uncle.
And Brad Childers was sort of underrated, but he was a head coach of the Vikings.
The guy who started Jimmy John's. Started at Eastern Illinois. Just a little sandwich cart.
Now you get a gift card for that sandwich. All right, I got to roll out here. Love you guys. Papers, you should, if you have time, or if you're feeling any better. Village Bar, the tasting room for 1879 Distilling is open.
All right.
Noon to 5 on Saturdays. That's tomorrow at the Village Bar. All right, guys.
Martin, have a great weekend, man.
All right, buddy.
All right, then, Martin. We'll see you.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Missouri Tigers beat South Dakota Coyotes last night in basketball 102-68. Missouri will play again on Tuesday against South Carolina State. It's going to be a 7 p.m. tip-off. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me? How deep is your love, Doug?
Well, I haven't measured it. How deep is it supposed to be? What would be average?
Probably the same amount it would take to fall off a building and still survive.
100 feet?
Yeah. I figured a little Bee Gees for you on a Friday.
Oh,
If you
that's
appreciate
nice.
it.
Yeah. I think 100 feet might be too high as a level that you're guaranteed to.
Yeah.
Start dirt napping. Maybe 80 or 90.
I don't want to find out.
Don't want to test it. No,
I don't want to find out at all. But I do want to find out about is some information from James Carlton. I'm probably thinking about making a switch here soon, and I think James Carlton is exactly who I'd go
Why
to.
not with him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly who I'd go to. And here's Tim to talk about it right now.
James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency has been my insurance agent going back to 2019, and I recommend him becoming your insurance agent as well. The customer service you're going to get from James and his team in Webster Groves, second to none. Now, if your insurance has gone up in the last year, you can give James a chance to save you money. Jamie Rivers made the switch last month, and he could not believe how much money he saved. I've been a client for 6 years, so it's very easy for me to speak to the caliber of service I get from James Carlton. But then when he can save you money, boy, that really makes a difference. If you have kids under 25 on your insurance policy, this is where James saves people the most money. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. That's carltoninsurance.net, or call 314-961-4800. That's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm.
That's James Carlton. And Doug, if you're looking to upgrade your kitchen, you'd go to someone like Collier and
immediately
Thompson.
Collier and Thompson comes to mind. Doesn't have to be the kitchen. They also do bathrooms and basements and wine rooms, man caves, bars, accent rooms, fireplace walls, offices. You name it, they will do it for you at Collier and Thompson. They even have a painting department now. Collier and Thompson is your go-to source for every design consideration. They carry the best cabinets, appliances, and countertops in the business, top-of-the-line stuff. You want to really make a great investment in your home, you go to the fine people at Collier and Thompson, have them show you around their design showroom, get some great ideas, maybe look at some before and after pictures on the website, and you go, holy smokes, this is a company for me. And they've been the company for St. Louis since the 1950s. They've been in business that long, and this is a company that you can trust. You know that they're going to show up. You know that they're going to do the work on a timeline that matches yours. If there's a problem, when they're done, you don't like something, they'll be happy to come back and fix it so that you do. They've got a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. They won Torch Awards from the BBB. It's just a fantastic St. Louis company, and they would love to turn your home into a showplace. That's Collier and Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, right there next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Come home to quality online at collierandthompson.com.
Doug just announced yesterday, I believe, Booyah, a portrait of Stuart Scott, will debut following the 2025 Heisman Trophy ceremony. That's December 10th. So a 30 for 30 about the legendary Stuart Scott.
What is it about his life that was different and extraordinary?
Well, I think, how he kind of changed Sports Center and how much of the borderline appointment viewing. I can speak for my own self that I loved anytime Stuart Scott would hop on Sports Center, and kind of the catchphrases, the booyah of it all, I think is very fascinating. My question I had in the dossier, the Stiefel dossier that is what are some other media members, some media guys who you think would make an interesting documentary about their life? Like broadcasters.
Do they have to still be alive? Like
Not necessarily.
Jack Buck would be a great story.
Yeah, I agree.
A World War II veteran and everything, and then coming back and doing everything that he did.
You think Vince Scully would make for an interesting documentary? Just the stories he would tell.
Perhaps. He started with the Dodgers when he was like 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah.
Feels like that was his entire life.
Right.
Whereas some of the other guys, went through hell before they ever got to the broadcast booth.
Yeah. And Vin never really had a color commentator, did he? It would just be Vin?
Oh, I think over the years he had some, yeah, but towards the end he just kind of wanted to do it by himself.
Was he tell that story about the Beatles leaving Dodger Stadium or something, and he's just calling the game while he's doing it?
I don't remember that one.
Oh, I remember. I came up on my TikTok recently where it was like Vin Scully tells this unbelievable story about the Beatles trying to leave Dodger Stadium, and like every 10 seconds it's like, and ball 2 coming in.
And there goes Ringo.
Foul chopper. It's really good stuff.
If he's not the most articulate sportscaster of all time, then Bob Costas is. It's one of the two.
Yeah, Costas is a great call.
Where they talk just like everything was written out a month ago and corrected for grammar and punctuation. How that comes out of a person's mind just naturally and all the time, I do not know. But it did with Vin Scully, and it still does with Bob Costas.
The Stuart Scott documentary, produced and directed by Andre Gaines, it traces Stuart's journey from local television in North Carolina, becoming one of ESPN's most influential voices. It will also feature never-before-seen archival footage, including self-shot home videos of Scott himself helped document his rise to prominence, painting an unfiltered and deeply personal portrait of a man who redefined what it meant to be both a journalist and a cultural icon. Certainly some flowery language, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Pumping him up.
That speech he gave at the ESPYs, I think it was only like a year change before he died, is incredible. It's incredible. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Those sports centers used to be appointment viewing for sports
100%.
fans. It doesn't seem like they are anymore.
When the SVP does it, it's pretty good. But yeah, when I was a kid, before school, I would eat my cereal and watch Sports Center.
Yeah.
Right up until I had to leave for school. And then as soon as I get home, if there was a Sports Center on, watching it again.
Dan Patrick was great on there.
Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen on Sports Center.
They had a boatload of them. That were really
Stan
good.
Verrett was really big, and Neil Everett, all those guys were very important to me as a kid. And that's how you learned about all this, everything, before social media and everything.
So you didn't watch the local news. You didn't watch the local guys who were so much better than anything
right,
else
I know.
on ESPN.
No, I know. I missed out. I should have been watching you.
Yeah, if you could turn back time, that's certainly what you should have done.
Absolutely.
Because we could have given you, 2.5 minutes of sports as opposed to the hour or 2 hours that they were giving you.
Right. No, I think I missed out. I missed the boat on that one.
Yeah.
You are listening
young.
to TMA, and this is presented to you by Brown & Crouppen. We're giving away 2 tickets to Motley Crue for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. You can email in the morning after at Inside STL. It's 10:21 here in St. Louis. That time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. We're going to take a break, come back with more of the morning after, presented to you by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Let this one breathe for a second.
Yeah.
Friday after.
There's just so much history involved in this.
Singing this tune. Stepdads and bleach. Doug, which do you think will have more cachet? The Dotham or the BMW championship that comes to town in August?
Probably tied for first. Yeah. Different audience for the two tournaments, of course.
How many rounds did you go to in the 2018 PGA Championship? You were there Sunday, right?
I was there covering it for like the first 3 days, and then I went as a fan for the last day.
Yeah. That was a special Sunday.
Did you go?
That charge. I went to a practice round that eventually got rained out.
Nice.
And then that weekend I had to go to Phoenix, Arizona in August, so lucky me. And on the way home on the flight was Sunday, and it was really getting charged up. Tiger was making the move. I think right as we left Phoenix and a stopover in Wichita, Kansas, and as we're descending into Wichita, Tiger hits that shot on the 9th hole. I think you were right by.
Yeah.
Flips
Standing
it on.
3 feet away from me.
And the flight attendant comes by and says, all right, you got to lower your laptop. I fake lowered it and just continued to watch. There was nothing that was going to stop me from
You
continuing.
violated FAA procedures?
Yeah, I sure did. I'd do it again.
Were you ready to do prison time over that?
Yeah, well, in 2018, if you remember, that was before Tiger had won the Masters, just, I guess, 6 to 8 months later in Augusta. So, I mean, I was like, I'm about to witness Tiger make a run at another major 10 years after his last major in my hometown. There's nothing that's going to stop me from watching
If it causes the plane to crash, oh well.
I'll die a happy man if I got to see Eldrick raise up a...
With that laptop probably right through your brain, too.
You think I'd be wearing it like a visor?
Yes. Yes, you would. That tournament, the turnout, the fan support it got, makes you wish we had a yearly tournament.
I know.
Because I think St. Louis would support it.
100%.
I haven't got that much else going on.
We're in agreement there, and we should have a yearly bowl game hosted at the Dome.
Yeah.
We should have both
Every
those.
other city has one but us.
Yeah.
And we got a stadium just sitting there.
We got a stadium sitting there. We got golf courses that can host it.
You telling me teams around the country wouldn't want to come to St. Louis in January?
Exactly right. Especially to play at the Dome.
Yep.
You find me a team that wouldn't want to do that. I'll find you a liar.
Would. Yeah, they all would. Maybe, what are there, 42 bowl games now? Why shouldn't there be 43?
Yeah, 100%.
One more. 2 more teams are in.
Yeah. I've written down here in the dossier questions for Doug. I used to do this with Tim during Balloon Party. And the first one I have here is favorite interview you've ever conducted in your career.
Wasn't Earl Weaver, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I was going to say Earl Weaver, probably not. Or most memorable would probably be Earl Weaver. But
I guess Muhammad Ali would be the
that one is
favorite.
crazy. That one is crazy.
Not that I did a great interview, but just I got something out of him and went kind of all over the world.
We've retweeted that. I'm going to have to retweet that again because we put that out there. He came to Minnesota, right? That was your
He went to the
Rochester
Mayo
games?
Clinic to get checked out to see if he was physically able to fight Larry Holmes for the title.
Yeah. So that would have been what, the early 80s?
Yeah, probably 1980 or 81, something like that.
Really cool. I saw a video recently of Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali being interviewed at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, this is Mike Tyson in his prime. He's brash. He's very confident. And they asked him, like, who would win between you and Muhammad Ali? And he goes, I'm very confident in myself, and I learned that from Muhammad, but he said something like, every tongue must profess Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time. Like, even the most brash guy was like, that's the GOAT.
He certainly has that reputation. He doesn't have the record necessarily to say that. And he fought at a time when there were a lot of really good heavyweights, too. And the whole world paid attention every time there was a fight. Nowadays, do you even know who the heavyweight champion is?
No. Is it Tyson Fury?
It was for a long time.
Deontay Wilder? They would fight like every couple weeks?
All the fights are in England or somewhere. I mean, that used to be one of the biggest sporting events of the year, was a heavyweight championship fight. And now we don't even know who the champion is.
Usyk? Is that how you pronounce it? Alexander Usyk?
Who knows? Who knows?
He's the current WA, IBF, and WO champion.
The big mistake the boxing industry made was to take boxing off of free TV.
And go pay-per-view?
Yeah. And so, and when they took it off TV, nobody knew anything about any of the fighters.
Yeah.
So then when you try to market them for a championship fight, everyone says, who?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember there was like a couple of years where Fury and Wilder would fight all the time, and that would be pretty good, and then Mayweather, but he was never heavyweight.
And you weren't going to spend $80 to watch it.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I haven't either.
Spent the money I've been to places where they've bought the pay-per-view and everyone chips in like $5, but to by myself spend $80. Like imagine renting a movie. It's like, oh, no worries, it's just $75 tonight. Thank you.
What was that fight they just recently had? One of the Paul brothers.
Yeah, Jake. I think Jake.
Was that pay-per-view? Or
that was on
that
Netflix, right?
Netflix, that's right. It was on Netflix,
thing.
and that was a major disappointment.
Yeah,
because he fought. Was it Tyson?
No, he did fight Tyson.
And Tyson didn't try.
Yeah. And then,
and that really hurts the sport when you put on major events where the whole country's watching. It really makes you think, this is a dud. Is this even real? Are they really trying? It's a shame to see the sport fall like that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Because it was huge back in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
That and horse
90s.
racing, right?
There was a time in this country where harness racing was like the number one sport.
Oh, where they're
going way
a
back.
Little carriage.
Yeah, going way back to like the beginning of the 20th
My uncle
century.
owned a horse like that, and they ride around the little harness. It's big in New York, New Jersey area. You remember Tony Soprano had a horse.
But was it for harness racing?
No, it was Pi Oh My.
Oh, that's right.
But didn't go well. What will go well if your garage door is falling is using Schaefer Door Company.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Tim will tell you about them presently.
Jason Gosrow and Schaefer Door Company, longtime TMA sponsors. I remember when my garage door broke a few years ago, I thought to myself, I have no idea who I am supposed to contact about this issue. The spring just breaks, you hear the door come crashing to the ground, and now you know you've got a problem on your hands. Well, you don't anymore, because all you have to do is go to SchaeferDoor.com. SCHAEFER door.com. SchaeferDoor.com. Plus, they set up a number specifically for TMA listeners to call or text, and that number is 636-782-3608. That's going to get the quickest response time. They service all kinds of garage doors for both service and new installations, and they have Monday morning standby service for those doors that break over the weekend. They service commercial doors as well, so if you run a business or warehouse with big, tall doors, Schaefer is experienced in these types of jobs. It's Schaefer Door Company. Jason Gosrow and Schaefer Door Company. Online at SchaeferDoor.com. SCHAEFER door.com. Schaefer Door, a CHI overhead door dealer.
All right, Doug, coming up in our next segment, Bleacher Report released every MLB team's most likely to be traded in the 2025-2026 offseason. We're kind of in the middle point of the offseason here. We'll get into that on the other side of the break. We'll have the Design Air heating and cooling email today where we're giving away two Motley Crue tickets for you. That's all coming up here on The Morning After, presented to you by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Welcome back. You're listening to The Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Tim off today. Martin had to bolt for onboarding at 10 o'clock. But we'll still have your Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, where we are giving away 2 Motley Crue tickets. And 101 ESPN has your shot to score a pair of tickets to Motley Crue with special guest Tesla and Extreme on August 19th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Tickets for Motley Crue go on sale this Friday at 9 a.m. But we have your chance to win free tickets to the show right now. Find all ticket details and a bonus chance to register to win tickets to Motley Crue at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 app. Doug, I mentioned to you, Bleacher Report has come out with an article about every MLB team's player most likely to be traded in the 2025-2026 offseason. Your guess for the St. Louis baseball Cardinals?
The most likely to be traded, I would say Brendan Donovan.
Brendan Donovan is not the answer.
He is not. I thought he's a guy that has some value. He doesn't make a ton of money, and they've got a minor leaguer ready to go to take his spot.
Yeah, there's an Athletic article that said that there was a lot of interest around the league in Brendan Donovan, as you can imagine. Good ball player.
Most likely to be traded with then Arenado?
Arenado is correct. He's owed $16 million in 2026, $15 million in 2027. It's possible the Cardinals are already missing the boat by not doing more to trade Arenado away last winter. This year was the worst season of his career in terms of batting average, slugging percentage, and percentage of team games played. But someone will try to buy low on the 10-time Gold Glove third baseman who turns 35 in April, right? It might depend on whether the Phillies are trying to move Alec Boehm, as well as whether teams view a couple of Japanese imports as legitimate options to man the hot corner. Doug, likelihood, percentage-wise, do you think that they're going to be able to trade Nolan Arenado?
I don't know. I guess you could just give him away and pay his salary. If that, I don't see what that accomplishes.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to pay the salary, you might as well keep him yourself.
Yeah.
I know you don't want a superstar player sitting on the bench at the end of his career, but if you got to pay him, why do you want to pay him to go play somewhere else?
The idea would be to get someone else up there, give them more reps, get their clock rolling.
You want Gorman to get more reps at third?
No,
is that going to do anything?
Bring up Weatherholt, maybe move some things around. And
Weatherholt will play somewhere.
Yeah, you would hope.
Yeah.
You would have thought he would have played somewhere at the end of the last season.
Yeah.
You hope under Chaim Bloom that he'll be forward on putting someone out there, but that would be the rationale of why you wouldn't keep Arenado, because what benefit does it have to you besides paying the money?
Well, Weatherholt could still play third, and Arenado could be a backup to.
Yeah.
You'd have a backup for a bunch of positions. He's not going to want to do that.
No.
But, hit better.
I agree.
We're paying you all this money. I just don't ever think it makes a lot of sense to pay somebody to play somewhere else.
No, I don't think it's never what you want.
I don't think he's that big of a clubhouse cancer.
No.
That he's
There's been no evidence of that.
No.
Been no evidence of that. But
guys get hurt all the time. Who knows how long any of their infielders are going to last next year without injuries. It's okay to have an extra one. Now, if you can get another team to bite off some of that chunk of that salary, that'd be different.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get stuck paying $15 or $16 million on him, keep him.
You know what they have as the Tigers' most likely player?
Can I have initials, please?
JF.
Jim Fisher?
Nope.
Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, we're not going 7 and 9.
Jerry Feinbaum?
Getting warmer.
Can I have the second letter of the second name?
L.
Jack Flaherty?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that was easy.
That's the way the game goes. So that's the way that you go about the game.
We don't know that unless we watch Jack. We don't know.
Well, then you don't understand pitching, and that's okay.
You want to say that again?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry?
That's a great exchange.
What about him back in the Cardinal uniform? Trade for him.
I don't think
Arenado
they'll
for
go
him
there.
straight up. You say what?
I'd say yeah, you'd have to do that.
No.
To get a starting pitcher for a 35-year-old expensive third baseman that doesn't hit anymore?
Yeah.
Sure.
Here's the interesting thing about the Tigers. Tarek Skubal is per Bleacher Report. This is what they wrote. Tarek Skubal is a stone-cold lock to be talked about as the most as a trade candidate, not just among the Tigers, but in all of baseball this winter. However, it's hard to imagine anyone is going to offer enough for 1 year of the 2-time reigning Cy Young winner to get Detroit to move him. That's what's fascinating, is that the Tigers are right there. They have this stud, and they're probably going to have to move him. Baseball might be a little broken.
Well, if the Tigers are going to pay anybody, wouldn't you pay him?
You would think, but maybe they don't want to spend a ton of money on him because he's a free agent, I believe, after next season.
But if they could get him to sign a 3 or 4 year extension at stupid money, if you're going to give the stupid money to anybody, the best pitcher in the league would be a guy to give it to.
I would think. But what do I know?
No, I don't know.
What I do know is that they do a great job over at 5 Iron Golf, and Tim's going to tell you about 5 Iron.
5 Iron Golf in Clayton is brand new, and it is the ultimate indoor golf experience. Whether you're a serious golfer or just looking for a great night out, you will love playing iconic courses on TrackMan simulators, enjoying chef-inspired dining, and relaxing in a vibrant bar setting. You can host events, just sharpen your own skills, or simply have fun. 5 Iron Golf is your new go-to destination in Clayton, online at 5irongolf.com. Personally, I love to practice. Just put in AirPods and hit balls on a TrackMan simulator and stay in form and work on things. But if I want to play, they have 200-plus courses like Pebble Beach and St. Andrews at 5 Iron Golf. Plus, they have a bar, they have a restaurant, they have it all, and there's no dress code, just golf. Plus, it's a perfect place for a corporate happy hour or a party. It's 5 Iron Golf, online at 5irongolf.com.
And hey, it's also the final week to the Countdown to Thanksgiving campaign to benefit Operation Food Search, hosted by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, Coca-Cola, and 101 ESPN. You can drop off a non-perishable food item at any Lee's or Hot Shots location now through today. So today is your final day. Every donation earns a free Coca-Cola beverage. All food collected will go to Operation Food Search to help local families in need. And we've seen that right now is a very important time to support our local food banks. Each donor can also enter to win a prize package that includes gift cards to Lee's and Hot Shots, as well as Blues tickets. Get all the details on the Countdown to Thanksgiving to benefit Operation Food Search right now at 101ESPN.com. We'll be coming back next segment with the Design Air Heating and Cooling email day, where we're giving away two tickets to Motley Crue. That's coming up next here on The Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. This is Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action tomorrow afternoon as they take on the New York Islanders. You can catch that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pre-game at 1:30, puck drop at 2:30. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me? Ooh, welcome back. You are listening to The Morning After, presented to you by Brown Crouppen. Doug, it's almost the weekend.
Okay, well, that's good news.
You got any weekend plans?
Not really. Not doing anything crazy, I don't think. No, you?
Not much. Try to stop by Gobble Bowl for a second. Probably after the Missouri-Oklahoma game. Mm-hmm. And then resting, trying to get right.
Resting?
Yeah, well, I've been ill the last week or so, and so probably best to get right.
But Saturday night rolls around, you won't think about resting, will you?
As long as I feel good, I won't. Like right now, I feel good.
Even if you're not 100%, as a single guy in your 20s.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do something.
Saturday night.
Unless I'm very ill, I will be,
Okay.
Exactly.
I don't want you sitting home on Saturday.
I'm not going to try to, but if, I need to make sure that I'm ready. I'm ready to roll on Monday.
All right.
That's it's always about. This is what we're doing, Distance is made on Fridays, distance is made on Saturdays.
Distance.
I'm just talking.
Okay.
I'm also, but what will cheer you up, make you feel better, heal what ails you. Some Ted Drew's frozen custard.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Visit Ted Drew's on Chippewa for the perfect combination, frozen custard and Christmas trees. Enjoy Ted's delicious custard while browsing among beautiful, fragrant fir and pine trees. There is a wide selection available, including plenty of large trees standing over 8 feet. The finest trees are given the label of a Dottie tree, named after Ted's wife. Ted Drew's was founded on the principle, our business is service. The staff at Ted Drew's will help you select your tree, carry it to your vehicle, and even secure it for the ride home. Ted Drew's also offers a variety of holiday greenery, including beautiful wreaths with handmade bows and pine roping as well. And while browsing the fresh trees at Ted Drew's, sip on a hot chocolate or try one of Ted's specialty flavors like Crater Copernicus, the Blue Note, the Turtle, or the Cindermint, inspired by Ted's daughter, Cindy. And if you're hosting this holiday season, impress your family and friends with Ted Drew's at home. Sold by the quart, Ted's delicious custard pairs perfectly with your favorite holiday treats. It's Ted Drew's.
All right, Doug, you want it?
Yes, please.
All right.
I'll have a strawberry Ted Drew's concrete.
I also want some Ted Drew's, but I also really desire the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. 2 Motley Crue tickets on the line right here, right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
Morning, cuties. Doug, you are so cute. My loofah says hi, and he misses you. Jackson, you're a ship carrier. Just do all the listeners a favor and introduce your friend Herb to gummies. And Drinkwitz to Penn State or LSU. And here's a name, Jeff Fisher to Columbia. Just kidding, but I just want to hear Martin's impression. Love you, boys. Bye. That comes from Love You Boys. Bye.
Love you, boys. Bye.
How about Jeff Fisher as the Missouri head coach?
I don't think he'd want it. He made a fortune, and he's got to be 70 by now.
Coached in the, what was it? Not the UFL, not the XFL, but something like that, like the Michigan Panthers a couple years ago. I found that odd.
But maybe he was making like $7 million a year with the Rams for a few years.
My dearest Douglas, General Benedict Martin just barked orders at us. Commander Jackson, that powdered lobster, stole our pint-sized Fife player, Timmy. They stole him in the night's gaze. We told the commanders he was a worthy prize for the British, but they doth not listen. We'll ride hard upon my horse named Sibian, swap powder for ale once we cow-tie the bastard. No one steals our little Timmy. And when I tumble home, boots still wet with trail muck and loyalist bones, you'll be waiting with that grin. Bend over that wash basin so I can rinse that battle dust off your backside.
No.
Then maybe the basin falls and we just do it right there on the bearskin rug.
I don't think so.
Yours till completion, Sergeant Major Ezekiel Tugg, 3rd Regiment, Virginia.
Sergeant Major Tugg, 3rd Regiment, Virginia.
Eeny, meeny, miny males. This show's off the effing rails. Friday got the boys feeling frisky. Guests and takes a little risky. Great to hear Herb's hot take. Drink is gone. There's no debate. And while Paper's takes tend to fly by, we learn deep down he's just a glue guy. Joey dropped a Rocky Nugget. Stallone sold his dog to make his budget. Nonsense sports coverage all over the map. Doug loves high school Grease. No cap. Well, the best we can hope for is Mizzou by 3. Playoffs? Don't say it's a possibility. The cards are dealt. Missouri sports sucks. Blues, Cards, Chiefs, no luck. A toast to the weekend and TMA. Tomorrow bound to be a better day. That's from Bro Fallon.
Huh.
Nice prose.
Sure was. Bro Fallon.
And finally, Doug, who says that we can't learn things when Tim is out? My project last night was geospatial mapping the birthplaces of the listeners' dads and stepdads, and it tells quite the story, illustrating how someone can go from a full-time gig of rewinding VHS tapes to producing the show. I also learned that sharks currently live in the rings of Saturn and have for the last 450 million years. You guys are the best. Shooter McGavin, the Vice President of Travel and Logistics for the Caller's Vacation to Belize.
Shooter McGavin.
And Doug, that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today.
Well, I thought the poetry was quite good from Bro Fallon, so I'm going to vote for Bro Fallon.
All right. Chairman Kurt?
Shooter.
Shooter?
What?
Oh, man.
You didn't like the poem?
I did like the
took
poem.
some work.
I like the poem. Bro Fallon.
Okay.
Bro Fallon wins. That's his second win of the month, so he's tied for the lead. That's going to do it for us. Tim back on Monday, Martin back, everyone back. Full strength for Monday on the short week before Thanksgiving. Doug, thank you to you for being you. You're great.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, every day I get to work with you is another treat. I mean that with all my heart.
Oh, well,
Kurt, you as well. God bless you, fellas, and God bless the listeners. We will catch you on Monday. This is The Morning After, presented to you by Brian Crouppen on 101 ESPN. BK and Ferrario at the top of the hour.